towards his fantasy. He used to believe in something would happen. Mills for liberty. Gnostic sex cult, building his own world. The Gnostic sex cult, unhinged from reality, totally lost it. What can we do but mock him relentlessly? It's not a Gnostic sex cult, James. No, it's not. Stop lying to your audience. No, it's not. It's not Gnostic, James. Mary Nardini tells us queer liberation means the annihilation of capitalism. Catch up, James. Whiteness means capitalism. Queer theory hates capitalism. Whiteness means capitalism. Queer theory hates capitalism. Whiteness means capitalism. It's all about capitalism. Everyone knows it's capitalism. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. Whoa. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. It's all about capitalism. Everyone knows it's capitalism. The socialists know it's capitalism. Wake up, James. It's capitalism. It's capitalism. To pocket all that money from the mills for liberty. The left hates capitalism, but James won't admit it. He refuses to believe queer theory stabilizes normativity. Gender binary and the nuclear family. But James blocks the truth, smears people who try to show him, creates an echo chamber for himself to reinforce his fantasy. To believe in something, what happens for liberty? Gnostic sex cult, building his own world. The Gnostic sex cult, unhinged from reality. He's totally lost it. What can we do but mock him relentlessly?
Well, good evening, fellow Gnostic sex cultists. Happy late night stream. You know, I didn't do a 5 p.m. stream today. Not that I didn't want to. I did actually have one planned to do. My hair's looking good. See, I found that when my office gets really hot and I get really, really sweaty in my office, I can just kind of go like this. And all of a sudden I look like I have sex hair. Sadly, I have not had sex tonight yet, although I suppose the night is still young. But Victor did seem to be tired, so we'll probably leave him alone. Anyway, I didn't do a 5 p.m. stream earlier because something else came up and I was dealing with a situation and so I just didn't do one. So I apologize. But I wanted to do a late night stream because, well, something has come to my attention. And Big Tech's really not going to like that I'm doing this. He's going to have all sorts of feelings. He's not going to like it, but he should know right off the bat, this is not going to escalate the situation, I don't think. In fact, Big Tech is going to be a very, 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 very tiny part of this. This is going to be more about me, like significantly more about me than it is about him. And you guys are going to understand why. So, no, he has not been talking about me again. Actually, I will give him credit for this. He seems to be de-escalating the situation. And it's actually my hope that this stream from me will de-escalate the situation a little bit further. But that's really up to him. It's really up to him. So something came to my attention earlier, and I'm not going to tell you explicitly what the thing is, but I will say that Big Tech wants me to do something for him. I am currently not inclined to do that thing for him. And the reason I'm not inclined is that I have heard every nasty thing that has come out of his mouth about me for the past week. And I'm not inclined. I am not at all inclined to do the thing that he wants me to do at this point. But I would like to become inclined to do the thing that he wants me to do, because I do think I actually don't agree with what he wants me to do, but it would be something that I would be willing to do if I felt as though my perspective on this was heard and understood. And currently speaking, I don't believe that my perspective has been heard and understood. I don't believe there's been any consideration given towards it at all. And so what I want to do is, and if he had wanted to if it had been possible to handle this not on the internet, that probably would have been my first choice. And I feel like I made room for that possibility, but you don't always get what you want. And so I have chosen to handle it on the internet because, quite frankly, I know he's going to find out about this video, and I know he will probably watch this video, not hopefully on his stream, but like just watch the video just like on his own, laying in bed, like whatever, or wherever he watches videos. Um, I'm not suggesting he's in bed like thinking about me. That's not because and that's actually part of this. And I actually have to be like specific about that because all of a sudden people think that something happened between him and I that didn't happen. And so you have to be very specific about your language, and you can't joke anymore like you once did. And so we're going to talk about that. So no, he's listen. He's being fine right now. He's de-escalating, and I'm trying to de-escalate, and I would like to get to a place where I can do the thing that he wants me to do. But in order to do that, I want to feel heard. And right now I don't feel heard. And so I'm going to do a stream and talk about what I want to talk about. No, I'm not it's just kind of been sitting here. I have a whole pile of yarn on my desk for some reason. I just do. Why not? So I think the thing, and by the way, guys, this stream is going to be about me. This is going to be me talking. This is going to be me talking about the past. Some of you will be familiar with this past, and some of you will not be familiar with this past. And so that's what we're doing tonight. We're ruminating. And I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, and it's not going to be about socialism. It's going to be about internet bullshit. Because I feel like the internet bullshit I've experienced in the past is hyper relevant to this current situation. And not everyone knows about the internet bullshit that I've experienced in the past. I don't have an adult beverage. All I have is some water. That's all I have. And actually, my throat's a little janky, so I don't even know how this is going to go. But I feel like I'm congested or something from allergies, so sorry. So what I want to talk about is there have been certain things that I have done in the course of the last week to big tech that he believes I should not have done and should have known better. I also believe there are things that he has done in the last week that he should not have done and that he should have known better. And this is kind of like the Mexican standoff of where we are. Now, where I'm at is that I believe that I might be able to take ownership of, okay, maybe I could have done that a little differently. But I'm not going to do that unless that ownership is reciprocated on the other side. And I think that what I'm going to try to do to help this along is to explain my perspective on why I made some of the decisions that I made. And so, like I said, this is not actually going to be a stream about big tech. This is going to be a stream about me. And this is going to be a stream about how I perceive this situation, and maybe doing, I mean, like people who have been watching the situation, like, I want people to understand my thought process and why I reacted like I did, and why I released the DMs, and why that was, a decision. And this is something that I've talked about, like, obviously in other streams. I did a preamble to the epic meltdown stream and all of that. But we're just going to sit down and have a conversation now, because some people who in the chat, we're going to go back down memory lane to 2021. Who in the chat was around during the Kieran episode, the Queen from England episode? And if you haven't been around for the Queen from England episode, Kieran is the Queen from England, and we'll explain why in the course of this. What happened to me 3 years ago is hyper relevant to how I reacted during this thing. And I also think it's just interesting to look at some of the parallels. So we've got Nick was definitely around, John was around, Sin was around, Reagan was around. Bot, you were definitely around. Well, I don't think you were around for the first part of it, Bot, but you were absolutely around. Like, we're talking about basically the like mid to late 2021, the entirety of 2022. So you were around. Gloria was around. NanoPie was around. Angel Eyes was not around. Yep, you told him to fuck off. Exactly. You remember that from Debbie. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So my goal in doing this stream is that Big Tech can listen to this or not. And he can choose to engage in this or not. But if he wants to understand why I made some of the decisions that I did, then I'm going to explain to him why I made the decisions I did on this stream. And he can choose to do with that information what he wants. But if he does what I hope he does with it, then I will be able to give him the thing he wants. Because I'm trying to find a path to that, bro. I really am. I'm trying to find a path to giving you the thing that you want, but I'm not going to do it just because you asked me to. And I think some of the things you've said about me, like some of the things that I've had to listen to, not cool. Not cool at all. But I'm trying to get there. And I need you to play along and at least pretend to care what my perspective is. So, for those of you who were not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the cancellation that quite literally almost killed me. It quite literally almost killed me. Because what I'm going to go through drove me to basically having a breakdown where I was seriously considering killing myself. Now, I'm fine now. I don't want anyone to worry about it. But there were things that happened in that directly influenced how I reacted in this situation with him. And quite frankly, there are people out there who don't know this. There are people out there who still believe the lies that were spread about me during this. There are people out there who, I don't know, they might find a story about like what happened through like a really bad internet mobbing that I had to endure for 2 years. They might find it interesting just from a perspective of like the level of bullshit that goes on the internet. For what? Why would I give a person what he wants? Because sometimes it's better to de-escalate situations than continue to escalate them. Because sometimes it's okay to do things that we aren't inclined to do, but not just for no good reason. Not for no good reason. So we're going to talk about that. All right. So here is what happened. And I do actually have a list of notes here because it was a lot of shit and I want to make sure I get everything right. So we're going to talk about Kieran. Kieran is someone I met about 3 years ago during the worst cancellation of my life. I'm gonna use Kieran interchangeably with the Queen or the Queen from England throughout this because we call him all those things. The Queen from England was the honorific that he was given when he just became such an annoying pain in the ass that my community gave everyone nicknames, and his nickname was the Queen from England. So Kieran is someone that I met in mid 2021, and I met him during the worst cancellation of my life. Basically, I had put out this video on YouTube that was about how critical race theory is not anti-white, and I still stand by that video. Now, I was angry in that video. I wouldn't do that video as angry today as I did back then, but I was absolutely angry in that video. See, Sin, who was around, says, I saw the mobbing and lies. I see parallels with big tech and Kieran, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy too, Sin, but I think that big tech might be more innocent than Kieran was. So I was getting canceled by like the no white guilt crowd very, very badly for this video. I mean, we're talking like I was inundated with thousands and thousands and thousands of people in my replies for weeks. They were doxing my address. They were posting my address all over the internet. It happened to coincide with Pork Fest, which is like the libertarian festival that I used to go to, where we go spend a week in the woods. And I literally woke up while I was in the woods with the libertarians, found my address posted all goddamn over the internet. This was the first time my address had ever been doxed, by the way. There were mobs of people following me around to every interview I did, just disrupting things, causing chaos. I couldn't go anywhere without these people harassing me. It was really effing bad. This lasted for weeks. Kieran, at that time, slid into my DMs and he said to me, you know, I'm in all these extremist groups on Telegram because I monitor them and they're talking about you and all this stuff. And he did it to try to like make friends with me, essentially. And so Kieran and I did become friends. And I mean, when I call him the Queen from England, he actually does live in England. And so we did become friends. We actually became really good friends. We ended up, I mean, we were talking like all the time. Like Kieran and I would spend 6 to 10 hours a day on Zoom, just talking with each other, like joking with each other, doing all sorts of stuff. We actually kind of formed into this creative relationship where he really was legitimately one of the best creative partners I ever had in terms of like brainstorming ideas and doing and thinking about different things. We had actually kind of created this whole business plan that he sabotaged directly, but the business plan that I created with Kieran formed the basis for what I'm doing with the Unwoke art store today. There's actually a whole other component to the business plan that is a separate in-person thing. But we basically spent months. Why am I frozen? Why am I frozen? In the words, can you guys hear me? Is the entire internet frozen? What the fuck? Am I back? What's going on? I'm back, I think. I was like, I got frozen in the worst possible freeze frame. Am I back? Am I back? Okay, I'm back now. Anyway. Okay, you guys can hear me. You're going to see me in a second. It's going to unfreeze. Hang on. Back. Okay, excellent. I was like, couldn't I get frozen in like a better freeze frame? Like, come on. So Kieran and I spent months putting together this business plan where it was this whole like, you know, kind of experiential like art thing that's actually really cool. It's a really cool fucking business plan. It was called the Unwoke Experience. And it had like an in-person component, it had an online component, it had like a merchandising component, had all this stuff. So we were actually like brainstorming where we want to try to do this project together. And he's a creative and I'm a creative, had all these creative ideas, whatever. So we started talking in like June and around, and it was a couple months later. And this was during 2021 when the world was still shut down. And I was kind of getting antsy that I wanted to travel somewhere. And I hadn't traveled since like the end of the walkaway stuff at the beginning of 2021. And I was like, I want to travel somewhere, whatever. But at that time, like you had to get vaccinated to travel. And so Joshua and I were talking about maybe going to London. And I kind of like this idea. I'd never been to London before. London has like a great art scene. I was like, oh, I can actually meet Kieran in person if we go to London. This will be great. But it like this whole thing started out with like Joshua and I joking, like maybe we should just go to London and hang out and be in London. Like he loves London. I'd never been there before, whatever. So it was getting up to like the time when we had kind of talked about maybe going to London. And so I had reached the point where I was like, I either need to get vaccinated or we need to just say that we're not going to do this London thing. And so one day I was actually meeting Joshua for lunch in Boston and I just went and got vaccinated. Yeah, so I am vaccinated. I got the J&J. I only got one dose just to be able to like if we were going to take this trip, I wanted to be able to do it. So I got vaccinated. And then Joshua decided he didn't want to go to London anymore. And I was like, fine. But I was still kind of like, I was talking to Kieran and Kieran and I had this business plan. And I legitimately had questions. I was like, okay, before, excuse me, before I commit to actually doing this thing, which is an intrepid enterprise, it was actually kind of like a big project. I want to make sure Kieran and I can actually be in the same place without killing each other. Because I had legitimate concerns. Like we got along great online, we had a great creative relationship, but there were things that concerned me and I was like, Kent, we need to actually step back and be responsible for a minute. If we're going to move forward with this project, I need to make sure we're going to be able to be around each other in person and not kill each other, and that like to make sure the whole thing is going to work. So I was kind of like, I got vaccinated. I don't want to waste this vaccination. I've never been to London. Why don't I just come anyway? And Kieran was like, yeah, why don't you come to London, Carlin? Okay, fine. Kieran lives 40 minutes to an hour kind of like outside of London. So he was like, I can come down. We'll do a bunch of stuff. It'll be great. So Kieran helped me plan this entire trip to London. Kieran made the itinerary because we wanted to use the opportunity, if we were going to be together anyway, to go to all of these like in-person experiential art things because we wanted to do research, we wanted to brainstorm, that sort of stuff. Kieran made the entire itinerary of all the things that we were going to go do. Kieran and I sat on Zoom for 3 hours one night searching for a hotel that was like reasonably priced, that why is my throat closing up? I need to tell a story. We were looking for a hotel that like had a bedroom for me, and then we found one where it was in this like big suite where if Kieran wanted to stay over because like we were out and we were doing stuff and he just didn't feel like going back home, like he had a place, like he had a whole wing of to himself in this hotel room. There was another bed, there was another bathroom, and so this was like perfect. So it was like a crash pad where like he didn't have to stay, but he could if he wanted to. And, it wasn't really differently priced than the other hotels that I was looking at. So I was like, this is actually kind of perfect. So let's just go here, whatever. Kieran had like, we had been talking for weeks about this plan. And then a couple weeks before the trip, about 3 weeks before the trip, I think. About 3 weeks before the trip, Kieran confessed that he was in love with me on Zoom. Twice. And he denies this ever happening, and it's very convenient for him, isn't it, that the Zoom calls were not recorded because they weren't. But the fact is, we were spending a lot of time together. We were spending 6 to 10 hours a day together on Zoom almost every single day. We had done some projects together. We'd done a big journalism project together. And so we were spending legitimately like a lot of time with each other. And at some point, Kieran fell in love with me. And he confessed this to me twice on Zoom. And it's one of those things, right, where like I legitimately cared about him. I really did. I really did. I valued him quite a lot. It was legitimately the best creative relationship that I've had like in a long time. And we had some plans together, and I didn't want this to disrupt the trip to London, and I didn't want this to disrupt the plans because they were really cool. And so I tried my best to mitigate the situation because while I absolutely did care about Kieran, I wasn't going to leave my husband for him. And that was what he wanted. I mean, that was like what he wanted. Like he's a lot younger. Like that was like what he wanted. He was young, man. He was young. I'm not going to say his age. It's going to make me feel really old, but he was young. And older than Nick Fuentes. I'll say he was older than Nick Fuentes. For some reason, I have like men in their late 20s every now and again that like just like me for some reason. I really don't know what the thing is, because like I really should not even be talking to young. I really should not. The Grapers are a horrible idea. I shouldn't even be talking to younger men. Anyway. So I really tried to mitigate the situation. I really, really did. And well, it didn't work. And the last time I ever spoke to Kieran was on a Zoom call, where I finally got him to come on a Zoom call. And this is like 2 weeks before I'm supposed to go to London. And he snapped. He had a psychological snap right in front of me. And it was honestly one of those things where like he looked normal 1 minute and then it was like boom. And it was like he had a completely different look. And like I started seeing this person right in front of me that I had no familiarity with who this person was. I had no familiarity with, like, it was like it looked like him, but it wasn't him. And it was like it was one of the freakiest things that has ever happened to me, to see someone psychologically snap right in front of me. And I'm trying to be so nice. I was trying, and even Victor has said, because like, listen, Victor can hear a lot of stuff that I say in my office. It's not like he's listening to everything all the time. Like I think he has his headphones on downstairs, but just the way our house is set up, he can hear like what I'm saying in my office if he wants to hear it. And so Victor even said to me later, he's like, Carlin, I heard you with him. You were trying to be so nice. You were trying to be kind. You were trying to do all this stuff. Well, wasn't going to leave my husband for him, so that wasn't good enough for Kieran. So he snapped psychologically, and then he just stopped talking to me. And so we're 2 weeks out from this trip to London. And I'm like, okay, is Kieran going to get it together? Because we kind of had like a business plan here, and I kind of left him alone. But I also was really hoping, quite frankly, that he would get his shit together and just come back and talk to me. Because it wasn't like I hated the guy. I didn't hate the guy. I cared about him like quite a bit. And he just didn't. And so I kept like kind of messaging him, like leading up to it. I was like, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk? I tried talking to him leading up to it, and he just did not want to. And later what he was basically like telling other people is he basically did not even want me to go to London. Well, guess what? Like I had already paid for the goddamn trip. So I had already prepaid the hotel. It was non-refundable. I had already paid for my plane ticket. It was non-refundable. We're already talking about like thousands of dollars invested in this trip. I was like, you know what, Kieran? If you don't want me to go to London, tough fucking cookies, bro. And after this, Kieran was telling everyone that I went to London just to stalk him. That's not true at all. Like, I went to London because I had fucking paid to go to London, and I wanted to go to London, and I wanted to go to art museums, and I wanted to go to like the touristy things, and I wanted to go see royal things. I love royal things. And so I was like, you know what, Kieran? You want to be a dick about this? Fine. I will go, and I will go to London, and I will rewrite the entire fucking business plan while I'm there to be something I can do that you don't need to be involved in. Like if this is what you want to do because you're pissed off that like I'm not like leaving my husband for you, fine. Well, I was in London, while Kieran was pissed off I was in London, Kieran started reaching out to people, telling them that I was stalking him. Now, I knew where Kieran lived. I knew his address. I very literally, if I had wanted to show up at his house, I very literally could have. But the fact of the matter is, I was in London every single day until the last day of the trip, when I went to Stonehenge and I went to Bath and I came right back to London. And so I was there doing the things on the itinerary that we said we were going to do. I saw some great art. I saw an amazing Alice in Wonderland exhibit at the Victoria and Albert Museum that was incredibly inspiring to me. Like I was at the Tower of London. I saw the Crown Jewels. I saw like all the royal stuff. I went to Buckingham Palace. I did all the fun stuff, and I did some artsy stuff too. But while I was in London, like on a vacation, Kieran started colluding with other members of my community like Deb Philman, who you guys have seen on this channel, to try to sabotage my community. Because what I didn't know when I was communicating with Kieran for 6 months, 6 to 10 hours a day, is that Kieran is a narcissist. And while we were communicating, I was in the golden period with him. And that's why it was so great. And that's why it felt so great. If anyone's ever been in the golden period with a narcissist, it feels fucking great. It really does. And I'm an empath. So I'm like the type of person that a narcissist targets. So because I told Kieran no, now he was going to get his revenge on me. And I had no idea what was coming because I had no idea at this point that he was a narcissist. It didn't even occur to me. When he snapped on that phone call in front of me, that was like the narcissistic break. I'd never seen it before, so I didn't know. So Kieran is starting to collude with these other members of my community, and he's basically reaching out and emailing other people in my community, starting to lie about me. I had no idea any of this was going on because I was on vacation. So I come back and I start to kind of figure out that Kieran and Deb and a couple other people are emailing people in my community trying to convince them to leave my community. They're trying to basically destroy my community. Deb thought she could pick up my members and bring them into her community or whatever. And so I get wind of this, and I basically, and they were also trying to steal something that was like intellectual property of mine, which was a project that I had been wanting to do for a while that I came up with a year before that, and they were trying to steal it and do it on their own. Well, I put a stop to that shit right quick. There is still a video in this to this day in my locals, which is kb.locals.com. You can find the video below, called The Thieving Interlopers, where when I finally got wind that Kieran and Deb were like emailing around and my community was hosted mostly on locals at this point, like they were emailing around everyone trying to get them to cancel me. I basically went live on my locals and I was like, look, assholes, you're not going to pull this shit with me. Yeah. Oh, well, but this is just the start of the gang stalking. This is just like the very beginning. So I had kind of like, I put that out there in my locals. I called them out. And this is when they really starts to hit the fan. So this is in November of 2021. Now, what happened when I called them out is this. Keri Smith. If you guys are unfamiliar with Keri Smith, you can go to survivingkerismith.substack.com, which is the website that I use to document the entire Keri Smith affair. Now, the too long didn't read is that Keri Smith is a woman that became obsessed with me in 2020 and has never stopped stalking me since. And really, throughout the entirety of 2021, Keri was pulling all this bullshit on the internet where she was emailing influencers, telling them that I was a horrible person. When I've talked to this woman like less than 5 times in my life. Like, she was doing all this shit. She was saying all this stuff online about me. If you want to know exactly what Keri said, you can actually go in to any of the posts on this website because, for instance, we'll go into this one. I've documented all of Keri's tweets. There are thousands of these tweets that Keri was sending about me all across, like from the end of 2020 all the way up until today. But I stopped kind of documenting around mid 2023. But like, we're talking like thousands of posts that this woman was making about me on Twitter. And people couldn't see it at the time because Keri was going into people's replies. Keri was writing these fucking long threads about me. So people might see one post here or there, but Keri was posting about me. In one case, she posted about me hundreds of times in a single month. So I documented all that on this website. We're not going to go through all of it, but what I will come in with is this. This is December of 2021. This is when Keri met Kieran. Because after I called them out, after I called out Deb and Kieran and the rest of the thieving interlopers for trying to destroy my community and steal my stuff, they went and made friends with Keri. And Kieran started telling Keri that I was obsessed with him, that I was stalking him, that I was hopelessly and desperately in love with him, that it was all unrequited on his part. Obviously, Kieran actually had the gall to tell people that I was grooming him. Now, it is true that Kieran is younger than me, but Kieran is a full-fledged adult. And so to say that I was grooming him, and this is when the whole groomer thing was trying to pick up. So Kieran was just using that to try to cause problems. Like, that was where I was really like, bro, seriously, like, we're both adults. You confess you love me on Zoom. Like, what the fuck? I never actually thought anyone would take this seriously. Now, this is what I want people to understand, because big tech did exactly the same fucking thing to me that Kieran did. But I don't think big tech means it as maliciously as Kieran did. But I want people to understand the parallel here. Kieran, because I had told him no, started this whole smear campaign about me where I was hopelessly romantically obsessed with him and I was stalking him and I was doing all this stuff and yada, 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 yada. And that was just never true. And it caused so many problems for me. He started dripping out private messages about me. Hang on, we'll go back to Keri in a second. So Kieran started dripping out screenshots of private messages that we had, but not all of them were the actual messages that I sent him. Because one of the things that Kieran has created is this tool that lets him to like basically take any web page, and make his own like edits to that web page where he can make the text on that web page say whatever the F he wants it to say. And then it looks like a web page and it functions like a web page. And he actually used this. We used this to make a meme of me. I wonder if I still have it. Hang on. GoFundMe. Do I still have this? Do I still have the GoFundMe meme? Well, it is in the Substack. Hang on. It is in the Substack. What is this? So you can see here. This is one of the screenshots of Keri's tweets. And I know it's hard to see, and hopefully I'll be able to find the file at some point. This is the GoFundMe meme, where basically Kieran took a GoFundMe page and he used his internet tool to replace the headline, replace the photo, change some of the names, and we basically made this GoFundMe meme where it looked like my internet haters were doing a GoFundMe to raise money for their therapy costs of the psychological like trauma that I had caused them over mean tweets or whatever. So this is something that Kieran made with that tool. Now, that tool can be used on any web page. That tool can be used to take direct messages and edit them to make them seem like something was said that was not said. And let me tell you what, when someone has something that looks like a real fucking message and you want to believe negative things about that person, it is damn near impossible to say, no, you don't understand. Here's the real direct message. Because first of all, they look exactly alike. Secondly, people on the internet want to believe whatever the fuck they want to believe. And so if people want to believe the worst thing about you and they've got this piece of evidence and it doesn't matter if they're fake or not. I mean, some of the messages were real. Like the ones where I was joking, like there were absolutely messages that were real. Like he has messages of me joking about like giving James Lindsay a blowjob. If people haven't gotten the memo yet, I literally joke about giving people blowjobs like all the time. The truth is I don't actually even like giving blowjobs, but it's just like a joke. Like I'm really fucking good at it, but that doesn't mean we always like things that we're good at. Okay, I was really good at math too, and I don't like math. But so some of the messages he posted were real, but it's just one of those things where the messages were taken out of context and twisted to mean something they didn't mean. Like I was never actually trying to give James Lindsay a blowjob. I'm not even attracted to James Lindsay. It was just a joke. Kieran knew that. Kieran still knew he could use it against me, so he posted it on the internet. But the things that the things that were really harmful were the messages where I was trying to be gentle with him, and he's making it look like I'm in love with him and I'm trying to seduce him and like all this bullshit. And that just never happened. It was not real. But he's dripping out these messages on the internet. And who is amplifying those messages now? But Keri. Keri had like 30,000 followers when this started happening. And when Keri's like, oh, you hate Carlin? I hate Carlin too. Let's hate Carlin together. Let's form an entire community around hating Carlin. Let's spend all our days talking about hating Carlin and creating reasons to hate Carlin and amplifying things that we're going to make everyone hate Carlin. So every single thing that Kieran was posting on the internet, this is like November, December 2021. Keri was amplifying, and then everyone thought this was real, and everyone started to think that I was like having an affair on my husband, and I was romantically involved with this guy, and I was stalking this guy, and I was insane, and like all of this stuff. And then on top of that, Keri and Mike Harlow, the same Mike Harlow who just made an appearance on Big Tech's channel not too long ago, Keri decided, oh, this was also in the Hitler. So what they would do is every single time I went viral on the internet for anything, here comes Kieran in the replies. Carlin did this, Carlin did that, Carlin did something. Here comes Keri amplifying everything Kieran's doing every time. And I went really viral for this, if anyone remembers that. And that's when, oh, I had a whole, by the way, they were running an entire account stalking me. They literally had an account with thousands of followers that was just stalking every single thing that I was doing. This is an image that Kieran made about me to make me look like a swamp creature. How fun for me, huh? That's not what I want to do. Go back. What am I looking for, though? What am I looking for? These were all the tweets that Keri sent just in response to me going viral on the internet. This is Keri right here. It's the woman in the hijab. She was going through a mood on Twitter when I took these screenshots. Let me see. Where is it, though? Where is it? This is in early December of 2021. She's all over. She's calling me a narcissist, a sociopath, a psychopath everywhere. She's getting thousands and thousands of views on these tweets. They're watching every single thing I do, clipping me out of context. Look at this. Talking about me all day, every day. Amplifying. See, this is when Kieran wrote an entire statement denouncing me. And no, I'm not going to put what he wrote because fuck him. And Keri is amplifying Kieran, and Keri's like, Kieran has integrity. So this is when the two of them started working together. Talking about, these are all Keri's tweets and Keri's friends' tweets. And then, where is it? Here it is. Ding. Then Mike Harlow released his expose hit piece on me. And Keri Smith, at the exact same time that Mike Harlow released his expose hit piece on me, Keri Smith writes a whole fucking essay on the internet about how I have borderline personality disorder and I'm just like Keri's mother, because Keri's mother also had borderline personality disorder. And so Keri is effectively calling me her abusive mother in this essay. She's citing Mike Harlow in this essay. She's even citing Poetry Painter. She cited Poetry Painter as a source on my mental health. And that essay is still on the internet to this day. Look, we've got the Quartering. The Quartering is sharing all this shit. Keri, I wrote an essay on fear and telling the truth. This is still on Keri's Substack to this day. Look at this. Still on her Substack to this day. This video by Mike Harlow, The Truth About Karlin Borisenko, is, as Poetry Painter says, you guys know Poetry Painter, a masterclass in how to spot a malignant narcissist. We're not going to read the whole thing. So this is all really hitting the fan, and this can go on and on and on. Keri is in the replies, like directing everyone to Kieran, spreading Kieran's bullshit. All of this. Thank you, Keri. Thank you for exposing this horrible person. She's obviously horrible, and she is deranged. This is all the responses that Keri got. Guys, I'll tell you what. People can make money, and Big Tech knows this because he very proudly said he made $500 off of dragging me on the internet. People can make a lot of money dragging me on the internet because of all this bullshit. Because a lot of people believe a lot of things about me that aren't true. It just goes on and on and on. These are all Keri's friends talking about it. Keri is calling me the woman out of misery. They're calling me like they're making memes about me. Apparently, I'm not allowed to smoke weed at PorkFest. The quartering is spreading it. Keri is replying, and this is when Kieran is starting to release like private messages. Kieran, by the way, released private messages that had passwords in them to like social media accounts that we had set up. Just release them on the internet. Like, what could possibly go wrong with that fucking plan? Keri is spreading it all over the fucking internet. Oh, here's the meme. That's the meme that Kieran made with his like. So the whole idea with this tool was we're gonna make memes and we're gonna take screenshots of them and like make stuff that was like, you know, subversive and like whatever. That's the full meme of, you know, people seeking psychological therapy for being blocked by me on Twitter. So this is all in 1 month. Every single one of these posts. We're not going to go through and read all of them. You can read all of them on the website. You can see Kieran is always there. I have nothing to hide, as this was always meant to be a joke for her only. He's talking about that meme. However, now seeing the inanity all in one thread, wow. I won't lie or prop up liars. She has no power over me, and I always tell the truth, and I let the cards land where they land. And Keri's all like, thank you for confirming that she did this, Kieran. And for showing how much disgusting glee she took in fooling her followers into thinking unsafe space, or I, or Cassandra, because I used Cassandra Fairbanks' name in it. We're friends now. Cassandra and I are cool now. Made this to attack her when it came from her all along. She doesn't care who she uses or hurts. So Kieran, while he is out there dropping private messages from me, making up shit that I never said, pretending that he is this poor victim of my romantic obsession. And Keri is like, yes, Kieran, yes, you are a victim, and we will get you lots of followers if you're a victim, and we'll make sure you get lots of coverage if you're a victim, Kieran. We'll do all of this for you. All you need to do is constantly talk about how awful Karlin is and release all of your private communications with Karlin that include jokes, that include like inside things that he and I both knew were just fucking around, that include all this stuff that makes me look like a terrible person. But when you take it out of context of like a one-on-one relationship, all of a sudden it takes on a very different meaning. And I think most people have friends like this where you make jokes, just the way it goes. He was doing it too. So Keri's replying to other influencers. Zuby replied to me one day, and Keri was like, Zuby, do you know how awful Karlin is? Here's how awful Karlin is. She was doing this shit all the time. All the time. All of that took place that I just scrolled through in 1 month. In the month where I was going really viral on Twitter, in the month where Keri saw the best opportunity to hurt me and convince everyone that I was a psycho with a personality disorder and all of this stuff. And I'm sure all of this lives on Kiwi farms to this day. And this is what people think of me when they're doing stuff on the internet. Let's see. Where am I in my list of things? Kieran starts posting the private messages. We talked about the meme thing. Talked about Mike Harlow. Oh, here's what happened next. Check this out. Keri, we're just going to go kind of back through the archives of this so you guys can see all the levels of this and all the nonsense that I had to deal with. So here were some of the lies that Keri told about me. Let's see. I have some things called Keri Smith's greatest hits. By the way, Mike Harlow faked having cancer in order to smear me. There's a whole episode in this where Mike Harlow literally pretends to have cancer because he wanted to raise money on a GoFundMe. And he literally pretended to have cancer in order to make it look like I was being a horrible person for not supporting him. And then all of his followers came into my feed and were like, he has cancer. He's really sick. Does Mike Harlow have cancer? Mike Harlow was telling people that he had a form of cancer where bones were falling out of his mouth every single day. And basically his entire jaw was going to fall off. I swear to God, this all happened. And people believe it. And I was the one that was like, I don't know if that's true. And of course, because I questioned if Mike Harlow had some sort of gross bone-eating fucking illness, that made me the bad guy. So I had all these fucking people in my feed. How dare you? He has cancer. He's deathly ill. Yes, this is all real. Bro, I documented all of this. We're not going to go through the Mike Harlow cancer chapter, but I'll put the it's chapter 6 of Surviving Keri Smith. I documented all of this. No joke. But that's not even the craziest thing. Let me show you some of the other things Keri did. Keri used her dog's account to harass me on Instagram because I blocked Keri's account. I blocked her on everything. So Keri started swooping in with her dog's account on my Instagram. And when she was like replying to my stuff on Instagram, she would literally say woof at the end of the tweet or the post or whatever. Keri tried to weaponize my own rape against me. Keri started, because I've told the story publicly about how I was raped like many times, right? And it's not something like I don't want one would hope that if you tell the story of like your literal rape, that maybe bitches on the internet aren't going to try to weaponize that against you. But no, Keri did that. I documented that in the Substack. Keri kept telling everyone that my entire story of how I woke up and left the left was false, even though I had literally documented everything on social media. Keri claimed to have this secret evidence that my story wasn't really real. And there was this constant thing where her and her supporters were hanging it over my head like, no, we've got the secret evidence and you're going to know when we drop the secret evidence and all this shit. But this is the one that was really quite spectacular. Does anyone remember this? And remember, as all this is going on, Keri is amplifying everything Kieran is saying and doing. And Kieran is tweeting about me every single fucking day. Literally, this was Kieran's only claim to relevance, is he was tweeting about me every fucking day of his life. Now, when this is all going on, I'm trying to build a fucking Substack, bro. I'm trying to build a YouTube channel. I'm trying to build my community. I'm trying to do all this stuff to build this actively Unwoke platform. I had like a lot of shit that I was actually trying to do, but every single day of my life for 2 fucking years, I had to put up with this bullshit. Does anyone remember when Keri decided to report to locals that I was using my locals community to form a literal posse to go and hunt her? And the reason that I know this happened is I got a phone call from Dave Rubin one day saying, Carlin, are you using my platform to form a hunting posse? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? By the way, that's the last time I ever spoke to Dave Rubin. But because Keri and her horde made so much shit with locals, destroyed my fucking relationship with him. Now, in retrospect, I'm okay with that. In retrospect, the universe works out just as it should. Dave Rubin and I were always destined to part ways, and so that's cool, man. But like, can you imagine? I'm just literally sitting here trying to do my work, and I get a phone call from Dave Rubin saying, why are you forming a hunting posse on my platform? You guys remember this happening? Yup. People were there. Yup. Rottweiler, that actually happened. Murphy's Pool was there. Yup. Let's find the tweets, because Keri tweeted about this. Let's see. Let's see. We're going to find the exact tweets where this happened. Look, Keri's still tweeting about me all the goddamn time. Keri is running this stalker account about me. Where did it actually happen, though? Keri is milking every reply out of this for sympathy. I'm being made out to be a toxic narcissist. Keri is singing. Keri's like, she has Darvo. Keri's like favorite thing in the world is Darvo. Keri is telling everyone that every single person defending me is a sock puppet account. If you guys have ever been told on Twitter that you're really me, that's because Keri and her horde told everyone that I had no audience and I had no community, and everyone who's defending me is really me. And I swear this relates all back to big tech. And he's just going to have to wait till the end to find out how. Let's see. Where is the hunting posse stuff? Deb Philman starts joining in. This is Kieran. It is profoundly sad watching delusional fantasists who swim in so many lies they cannot distinguish between fact and fiction come into the realization that the game is up and the narrative they have constructed is slipping through their fingers. I should mention this. Today, Kieran is completely irrelevant. He streams to like 3 fucking people. And you know, karma came and bit him in the ass quite good. Keri complaining about the meme. Keri complaining about me at every opportunity. Blah, blah, blah. This is me literally offering them a truce. Nope, no truce. Nope, we're not going to do that. Let's see. This is all separate. Where is the hunting posse? Hang on. Hunting. Okay, here it is. Check this out. Check this out. Keri started stalking my locals community because at this point I was doing a lot of live streams on locals because it was just the platform I was using. I was trying to build the community. Keri was stalking every single live stream I did in my locals community. And she got a screenshot from the locals chat one time. And the screenshot said, "Hey, brand new supporter here. Tell me where to send the cavalry. There are several 100,000 hunters here in Minnesota that are bored and looking for something to do." That's the chat from locals. When this person says there are several thousand hunters, what they meant is hunting for documents, not hunting people, hunting for documents. Well, Keri took that and said, for anyone who was blessed not to see the video with the physical threat, she also named 8 other targets in it and got responses she wanted, which was offerings from her members to send bored hunters to do what? She's Charles Manson with a YouTube channel. Oh, and she was replying to this. I didn't watch tonight's video, but I did watch and report the one from last week where she threatened physical violence against me after several people alerted me. She tried to fake cry in that one. Keri is talking about the one. I did a video challenging Keri to a charity boxing match. Because if there's any bitch that I would absolutely love to be in a charity boxing match with, it's Keri. But the whole thing is a charity boxing match is consensual. It is consensual violence. If Keri does not consent to participating in the charity boxing match with me, there's not going to be any boxing match. And Keri was like, you're threatening me with literal violence. No. I said, Keri, do you want to have a charity boxing match with me? We can raise money for a charity. You can choose the fucking charity. Because this bitch had been haranguing me on the internet for like a year and a half up until this point. So then Keri says, Carlin is sending out bored hunters to literally hunt people, and she's literally enacting violence. They sent all this shit to locals to report me for using locals to form a hunting posse against them, like a literal fucking hunting posse. Actually, locals even sent someone into one of my Zoom calls. They were like, Carlin, can we just monitor your Zoom calls? I was like, yeah, sure. Come on. And the person left with like 5 minutes because she was like, okay, this is not actually a cult. Like, no, it's not. It's just a fucking Zoom call. Anyway. Let's see. This is a fun story when Keri got so psychotic about me that she actually got fired from her show, Unsafe Space. And so basically what happened is Keri got fired from Unsafe Space, which is a show that a lot of people used to watch and like, because Keri got so psychotic about me that her co-host, who was the owner of Unsafe Space, could no longer fucking handle it. And so he was like, Keri, no, we are not dealing with this level of psychoticness. So Keri ended up getting fired from Unsafe Space, and she made this whole big stink about it online. And she was like, I am being wrongfully defamed, because she got herself fired from being psychotic. And that led to Keri getting, a cease and desist notice for defamation about Unsafe Space. That's just a fun little aside. Anyway, the real fun started for me in July. So now this bullshit from Kieran has been going on since November. Kieran has just been, they have been posting these messages all over the internet, making it look like I was romantically involved with Kieran and I was romantically obsessed with Kieran. And they like kept this story going. And I was like, literally at this point, I was like, can someone just get Kieran fucking laid so he can go and have a girlfriend or something, because I was so sick of this shit. But Kieran had yet to pull his biggest round of bullshit on me, because it wasn't enough for Kieran that he had spread this lie that I was romantically obsessed with him. It wasn't enough for Kieran that he had spread false messages all over the internet, making it look like I said things I never said when I was trying to be perfectly nice to him. It wasn't enough for Kieran that I had to deal with people stalking me, that I had to deal with Keri's bullshit all day, every day. No. Kieran is the person who doxed my college boyfriend. And I know it was Kieran because when Kieran and I were still friends, I was friends with him on Facebook. When I was friends with him on Facebook, he had access to the images of the pictures that I had taken with Aaron. And I had also talked to Kieran about Aaron because, quite frankly, it was never any secret to anyone that I knew someone that went to prison. It was never something I hid. I always said I had a friend that wrongfully went to prison for something he didn't do. I was never hiding it. It was never something I was ashamed of. Kieran went through 15 years of my social media history to find tweets back from when I had like 500 followers and they were like my friends and family, where I was talking about Aaron and I was posting stuff about Aaron and I was joking about Aaron. And I was like, Aaron and I like to joke about having a prison wedding. And well, there was definitely a time where I thought that I was going to like marry Aaron. Oh yeah. Mike Harlow still to this day is posting video. Like, I am harassing me is the most successful thing Mike Harlow's ever done. Ever. So there were times when Aaron and I were joking about getting married in prison. That was never actually going to happen. I was dating other people the entire time he was in prison. But I'm going to be honest, like, there was always in the back of my head, I was like, I kind of want to wait for Aaron to get out of prison before I get involved with anyone. So I had basically my entire 20s were through this, like, this maze of emotionally detached relationships, because like I was dating, I was sleeping with other people, I was like, I was doing my thing. But ultimately, Aaron is one of the loves of my life. He's one of the great loves of my life. I like, and so I always kind of had in the back of my head that like, oh, I'm just going to kind of wait till Aaron gets out of prison. This is all just killing time, until I met my husband, Victor. And then I married Victor, and that was absolutely the right choice. But So Kieran goes through 15 years of my social media history to find every post I've ever made about Aaron. Kieran, before he had lost his fucking mind, had downloaded all, because we were friends on Facebook. He when I was still kind of waiting for Kieran to kind of come around back when he first went psychotic, instead of like being a normal person and just kind of like relaxing, Kieran decided to download all the pictures from my fucking Facebook to use against me later because he's a narcissist. And of course, Keri and Mikey were right there the entire time when Kieran decided to dox my college boyfriend. And that's when we get, oh, by the way, they're all making these drawings like me. They're posting all this stuff about me. They have all these memes about me. This is, by the way, because I'm daring to talk about the bullshit that Keri's putting me through. They were like, you're obsessed with Keri too. You're obsessed with Kieran. You're obsessed with Keri. You're obsessed with everyone, Carlin. These were the memes that Keri decided. Keri was convinced I was doing a whole rebranding campaign because I wrote a book. And so she was posting stuff like this all over the internet. She's retweeting stuff. But hang on, where is it? They're making videos about me, how to fail at everything. That's supposed to be about me. Mike Harlow's posting this video all the time. Oh, that's Kieran's photo. We'll scroll by that real quick. Let's see. They're posting about me all the time. Where the fuck is it? Where is it? Where is it? This is all in like a couple months, by the way. Like what you're seeing now, this is like all within a couple months. If it seems like I'm scrolling a lot, it's because I am, because this was all their shit and all their horde stuff. And this is what I had to deal with almost every single day of my life for 2 years. Oh yeah, Gabs and I were trying to do an event. To offer advice to parents whose kids are getting put through gender ideology. And so because Gabs, first of all, they were attacking Gabs all the time. Basically, when Gabrielle Clark was working with me to like get this information out there to parents who had kids that were like going through like gender indoctrination in school, they started attacking Gabs for this, and they started demanding that Gabs denounce me publicly or else they were going to cancel her. And when Gabs was like, no, fuck you guys, they started attacking Gabs. They started attacking my event. They were attacking all of my supporters. Anyone who said anything nice about me, they were going after. Let's see. They got Katie Herzog to do an entire hit piece on me. There is not a single thing in this podcast that's actually true. Katie Herzog did a massive hit piece on me based entirely on conversations with Keri. We know that because we got Keri actually interacting with Katie Herzog. I had to debunk all of this. You can find my debunking of Katie Herzog's bullshit in this article if you want to. Posting about me all day, every day again. Again, this is like all within 1 month. We haven't even gotten to the part where they doxed Aaron yet. And then they came for Aaron. This post from Mike Harlow, doxing my friend that went, and by the way, the too long didn't read with Aaron, is that Aaron pled guilty to a crime he did not commit because there was the potential of him going to prison for the rest of his life if he didn't. There was a very high potential of that. And at 24 years old, he decided to plead guilty to a crime he didn't commit. I know he didn't commit it. He knows he didn't commit it. The government knows he didn't commit it. All of his friends and family knows he didn't commit it. Every single person that was actually involved in this in real life knows that Aaron had nothing to do with any of this. but he got massively fucked over by the federal government, and he went to prison for 8.5 years. And I stuck by him through the entire thing, and I would not do it any differently, and I will never apologize, and I will never bend the knee to this bullshit, and I'm going to be telling the whole story about this soon on a Twitter space I'm going to do. But Kieran decided to download all of the photos from my Facebook where I had all my stuff about Aaron, and he gave it to Mike Harlow so that Mike Harlow could dox my friend to get to me. Because at the time, I was the LP&H candidate for governor in New Hampshire. Now, it wasn't a real campaign. It was never a real campaign. I was just supposed to be a name on a piece of paper. That was like it. That was the extent of my commitment. I said, I'll run for this, but like, I'm not actually going to do anything. I'm just going to be a name on a piece of paper. And they're like, yep, okay. And so that's all it was. But because they were so pissed off that I had this like stupid campaign that didn't even mean anything, I was running as a libertarian. I was never going to win. They used that to run this massive smear against me that got literally millions of views, to the point where Twitter Community Notes believes this is true. Twitter Community Notes has used this against me because they believe it's true. And it's not true. I've been called a pedophile over and over and over and over and over. I get attacked for this almost every single day. Keri, to this day, talks about how I'm a pedophile enabler all the time. And all of this came because Kieran downloaded all the stuff from my Facebook and gave it to Mike Harlow and went through 15 years of my social media history and gave everything to Mike Harlow to get millions of views on this. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I care, like, of course I don't like that this was done to me, but the fact that this was done to Aaron when he was out of prison, when he had moved on with his life, Aaron and I had barely even spoken in years at this point. The last time I even saw Aaron was in 2020 before the pandemic. I saw him in New York City, but like I had like that. We had barely spoken for years before that. And there was no beef. There was no hard feelings. It was just like he got out of prison. We palled around a little bit, but then life happens and he went his way and I went mine. And there were like no hard feelings. And even when all this shit hit the fan, Aaron messaged me and said, Carlin, you didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, I know, and I'm really sorry. And I have a massive amount of guilt for this. I have so much guilt for this. And so when this happened, they started calling his workplace. They drag him through the mud all the time. And I'm just like, he was literally an innocent person that got fucked over by the government to plead guilty to something he didn't do. And spent 8.5 years in federal prison for it. And he gets out, he moves on with his life. He had a really good job, was really doing well. All of a sudden, this happens. And this was all because of Kieran. This was all because of the boy who told people that I was romantically obsessed with him. This was all because he told me that he loved me over Zoom, and while I cared for him, I was never going to leave my husband for him. And he couldn't handle that. And so he spent the next year of his life trying to destroy mine. And not only did he try to destroy my life, he tried to destroy the life of someone that I love very, very dearly. No matter if Aaron and I talk or not, no matter what has happened, I will never stop loving that guy. And not in a romantic sense, because there are different kinds of love, okay? I'm married. I'm very happy with the person I'm married to. I never want to not be married to my husband. But Aaron is one of the loves of my life. And I will never, anyway. And this is all because of a boy who was obsessed with me and lied to people about me being romantically interested. And that wasn't even the end of it. Like, they went around bragging that they destroyed my career. They became really delusional. You know, people can look at the web. They even kept going. They even kept going, and I stopped documenting it at some point, but it's calmed down a lot. Like, people question why I wrote this book, because this is like a book length project. This Substack is like a book length project, but like, the fact is that the reason I wrote this Substack is because the smears got so bad between Kieran and Keri and Mike Harlow and Deb Philman and the rest of them, that I needed a place that I could send people to say, this is what's going on. And I needed to be able to have everything documented so that I could find things to say, no, you don't understand. Here's what's going on. These people have been psychotically harassing me and gang stalking me for years. And after I wrote this, and they put up a fight when I wrote this. They put up a massive fight when I wrote this. They did not want me to write this. They made fun of me for writing this. They mocked me for writing this. But I'll tell you what, once I had a platform where I had literally documented every single thing that these people put me through and every single thing these people said about me, and I said to them, you guys keep going. I'm just going to keep adding to it. I will add a new fucking chapter every time you guys pull this bullshit. It didn't stop right away, but it eventually died down because they didn't want me to write any more chapters of the book. Because when people actually look at this, it makes them look psychotic. Sin remembers, after I had this finished, they leveled the fuck out. And they stopped coming after me all the time. Now, that's not to say Keri doesn't talk about me. Keri literally still does talk about me to this day. Kieran still obsesses over everything I do to this day. Yep. Well, we'll talk about this in a second. Well, I actually did. I had a whole tracker where I was tracking how many times a day they talked about me. We're going to talk about this in a second. To go back to big tech for a second. See, now we're rounding back to him. Now he's perking up again. Now he's paying attention again. After I made my video where I said that I was not pleased that big tech tried to make it seem like I was infiltrating the Groypers, he did a stream about me where he insinuated that I had romantic feelings for him. And while it is true that he and I flirted, and he flirted with me too, and don't fucking claim you didn't, bro. You absolutely did, and you enjoyed it, and I don't even care what you have to say about it, because you absolutely did. Well, we absolutely did flirt back and forth with each other. It didn't happen that often, and it was not tied to any sort of romantic feelings. It was just innocent flirting. It was innocent flirting on my part. I think it was innocent flirting on his part. I don't ever actually think we're going to meet in person. Like, I live in New Hampshire. He lives in California. Neither of us really leave our houses. Like, why would we even ever? But in the stream that he did about me, the response stream, he didn't stick to what I said. He didn't deal with the grievances that I laid out. He instead insinuated that I had romantic feelings for him. So I've heard. I haven't actually watched the stream. Probably I should do that, but quite frankly, I don't want to do that. But I definitely heard about it enough where I believe that that was true. And then when we were doing the politically provoked stream, Big Tech is in the chat on the politically provoked stream, threatening to release DMs. Now, I think the message he was trying to send to me was, if you do it, I'm going to do it too. But guess what? At that point, he had already been talking about how I have these romantic feelings for him that I knew wasn't the case. And I'd already been through a 2-year ordeal that started with someone saying that I had romantic feelings for them and I was romantically stalking them and I was romantically obsessed with them when it wasn't the case. I was actually just trying to be a nice person. And so when I saw the DM that said that he was going to release the DM, or excuse me, when I saw his chat in to politically provoke saying he could release the DMs, I knew exactly what happened. I knew that he had screenshotted all of our DMs while I was still at AFPAC. I knew that he had deleted all of his DMs to me so that I couldn't do the same thing. So he basically had a screenshot record of all of our DMs. I did not have the screenshot record because he did this while I was at AFPAC because he thought I was going to attack him when I never was. And he wanted to have ammo to use against me. And goddamn did I know exactly what he was going to go for. He was going to go for the DMs where we were flirting and it was just innocent and it didn't really mean anything. And he was going to make it look like I was romantically obsessed with him. And in my head, I'm like, God damn it. And so I saw him chat that in. Thank you. And I'm flashing back to this 2 years bullshit that I had to deal with Kieran. I'm flashing back to the breakdown that I had as a result of this. I'm flashing back to when I was seriously considering suicide because of all this, because there was a point where I was just like, this is never going to stop. This is never going to stop. This is never going to stop. This is like, it was every day. It was literally every day of my life. And I'm looking at him at big tech and I'm going, he's trying to do exactly the same thing. And I'm sure he's seen all this with Kieran and he's going to make it look like I'm doing exactly the same thing with him when I'm not. And so in that moment on Politically Provoked, when I saw him, well, I don't want to always be screenshotting. That's not what I want. And I really wish it hadn't come to this because I really wish it hadn't come to this. I really wish I hadn't felt like I needed to release the DMs. I really wish I hadn't. And maybe I made the wrong decision, but in the moment at 4 a.m., when he's been screaming at me and calling me every name in the book and calling me fat 19 ways from Sunday and making it very clear to me how much he hates me and how awful I am and all this stuff. I was like, well, he's going to release these DMs anyway. He's already said so in the chat, and he's obviously going to try to make me look like I'm romantically obsessed with him. And so all I have, like literally all I have to defend myself, all I have is a preemptive strike against him to say this wasn't about any romantic feelings. This was about him being upset that the Groypers liked me. And so that's what I decided to do. But the reason I did it is because I really thought that he was going to enter into exactly the same thing Kieran did. And I let it happen once because I was like, this can't possibly happen. And I paid for that mistake for 2 years. And I paid severely for that mistake. Because I let him strike first. Thank you, Murphy's Pool. I appreciate it. I'm not trying to get anyone to feel sorry for me. I'm just actually trying to explain this. Like, I actually don't want to be a person that screenshots everything. I don't want to be a person that can't have conversations online with people unless they're just transactional. I don't want that. That's not ever what I've wanted. But I guess what I want Big Tech to hear, if he wants me to do this thing that he wants me to do, is that I need to feel as though he understands that there were reasons that I did what I did based on past things that have happened to me, and that perhaps those things aren't his fault, but I have no doubt that he saw those things. I have no doubt that part of his thought process was making it look like I was doing the same thing again. And I absolutely refuse to take full responsibility for making the relationship with him go south. I refuse. I think that both of us fucked up. Both of us did shitty things to the other person. And I know that you guys in my chat think he did especially shitty things to me. Well, people in his chat and his community thinks I did shitty things to him. And where I would like to level out is that both of us fucked up. Both of us hurt the other. Both of us probably have things that we could have done differently. And that if he wants me to do the thing he wants me to do, which, by the way, guys, isn't actually that big of a deal, the thing he wants me to do, then I need to have some sort of acknowledgement about I need to feel as though he understands that. That's what I need. I need to feel heard in this situation. And the only reason I'm doing this is I really feel like it's the only chance that he might actually listen. Because he can't talk right now. I'm doing a video on the internet, and he's going to want to know what's in that video. And so I wanted to explain all that. And so if he can let me know that I feel heard, if he can let me know that he hears me and he understands this perspective, and he doesn't have to agree with it, then I will do the thing that he wants me to do. And if he does not do that, then I will not do the thing he wants me to do, because this really should be quite a transactional thing. Like, no one's talking about us getting back together again. I'm going to make that very clear. I'm not negotiating. And I don't think he's a terrorist. I don't think he's a terrorist. I know you guys do. I don't. Anyway, I thought for fun, I know this is not fun, but that's kind of like what I wanted to say. So like the big tech part of this is now over. Now I'm just chatting. Now I just want to kind of go back and have some fun. Do you guys want to see some of like the crazy shit that happened in this whole thing? Let me show you this. I want to reminisce. Bot, you're going to love this. I want to reminisce about the game. Does anyone remember the game? Something went wrong. Oh, no. No! What's going on? What's going on? I just loaded this like the other day. What the fuck is going on? Is Substack update? What the fuck? What is going on? Is Substack down? Why is Substack down? Why is Substack just down? Substack was just working. Seriously, is all of Substack down? Yeah, all of Substack is down. Holy shit. Well, we might not be able to do something fun then. This sucks. It's down for everyone. Hang on. Maybe it'll come back up in a second. Is it down? It said last down 2 minutes ago. So yeah, so Substack is down right now. Hang on, maybe it'll come back in a second. Anyway, I guess while we're waiting, does anyone have any questions or comments about the whole thing? And we'll see if Substack comes back. Yeah, it's reported on Twitter. That sucks. Bad timing. I bet it'll come back soon. Well, good thing I got through all the stuff I actually wanted to show you guys. Anyway, I mean, I guess like the whole thing with fighting on the internet, I mean, I think it is funny how people choose similar tactics to go after people and how tactics repeat themselves. And it's one of those things where like I feel like you know, if you can I feel like it's informative to be able to identify different cancellation tactics people use online, because then you know when people are being basically wrongfully mobbed and wrongfully accused. Like, I don't believe anyone that's called a pedophile anymore. I don't believe any of that at all. I believe that like, I've been called a pedophile so much, I'm like, bro, I don't even like kids and all that stuff. Oh, looks like there's a notice now. Hang on, what's the notice say? Substack is experiencing technical problems. Yes, you are, Substack. It's back! It's back. Let's take a look. No. Come on. Come back, Substack. I believe in you. No! It's still working. Look at this. Hang on. Come on. Load. Okay, good. So the last chapter of oh, you guys don't see this. Hang on. Not that one. That one. Hang on. Yeah, in every internet beef, someone gets called a pedophile. It's just like, bro, like the vast majority of people, I swear, are not. So check this out. So do you guys remember this? Do you guys remember the game? Do you want to watch a clip that I made about the game? Who remembers that? Who Nick almost won the game? Yep. The game, this is like infamous lore in my community. Okay, let's watch this video and I can explain what the game is. So, I would really like for one of them, at least one of them, ideally all of them, to hit the 30-day mark, going 30 days without talking about me at all. And so I'm keeping a daily scoreboard. And so for every day they go without talking about me, they get a point. The first one to 30 wins. Every single time they talk about me at all, to include interacting with that account that's stalking me, they reset to 0. And so today was day 4 of the game. And Keri had a fit about me on Twitter last night, so she lost. Deb and the Queen were both having fits about me as well. They were having a fit about me today, so they're at 0. They're all going to reset to 0. But the fame whore, Baron, Mike Harlow, went all day yesterday without mentioning me, so he got a point. So basically the whole premise of the game was, I had this game board, and they all got nicknames. So Keri was the good Christian town crier. Mike Harlow was the fame whore Baron Munchausen. Deb Philman was stepmom, and Kieran was Queen from England. And the whole premise of this game was, I just wanted them to stop talking about me. So every single day that they went without talking about me, they got a point on the scoreboard. And the first person to get 30 points was going to win, because the whole premise was, like, I just want them to get into a good habit of, like, not talking about me. And if they can go 30 days without talking about me, then they win the game. And there was, of course, no prize. But we had a betting pool. Like, Bot basically started a betting pool in the game to see, like, we would make all sorts of bets, like who's going to be on the scoreboard tomorrow, who will reset to 0, who's going to get to these points first. There was a whole gambling thing around this game. All right. So this is the scoreboard. This is the game. We get to update it in 2 minutes and release the new score. She did blow it, Phil. I was like, Keri went 2 days without talking about me, and I was like, Keri's going to win. Keri's going to win. This is going to be awesome. I was so excited. And then Keri threw a fucking temper tantrum about me in the game because Keri doesn't like the game. Keri's like, Carlin is a narcissist, and that is why she has this game board, and she's keeping track of everything we say because she's a narcissist and she just wants attention. And I'm like, Keri, it's exactly the opposite of that. I'm literally trying to incentivize you not to talk about me. Keri, you can win the game by not talking about me. That's all I want. That's it. I just want you to not talk about me. It's the very opposite of attention seeking. I'm like, leave me alone. So we had this game board that I was updating every single day. Exactly. And then Bot made a scoreboard for who was winning the bets and who wasn't winning the bets. Let's see. And no one ever made it to 30 days. The most that anyone made it was like 8 days. And it got so bad, like halfway through the game, I actually cut down the goal. I was like, okay, maybe 30 days was like a bit much, because you're going to see some of the scoreboards, like they would go 1 to 2 days tops without talking about me. And like literally all I was doing to them was posting this scoreboard every day on Twitter saying, well, Keri failed. She talked about me. Mikey failed. He talked about me. The Queen from England didn't talk about me today, so he gets a point. Like literally that's all I was doing. And they couldn't resist the urge to shit on me every single day, and they got so pissed off. But like we eventually like ratcheted down the goal to like 2 weeks, and we were like, okay, if one of you just goes 2 weeks without talking about me, the game will be over. Because that was all they had to do. Literally all that had to happen for me to stop posting this scoreboard on Twitter was that someone had to win the game. Someone had to make it to the 30-day mark or then the 2-week mark, and no one was capable of doing it. So check this out. So I've got all my game scoreboards here, and they, like you can see, and they're all there. They're all like, "You're harassing us," and I was like, "Okay." Deb is talking about how I'm harassing her. Okay, she goes sets to 0 tomorrow. Like Kieran is complaining about the game. Kieran is saying, Kieran literally said that I stole his branding for the scoreboard when really all I did was I used a Canva template. That's literally a Canva template. And Kara's like, she's stealing my branding for this game board. And then I was just like, look, again, Mike Harlow's like, I spent today calling representatives and speaking with legislators. Blah, 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 blah. I'm Munchausen making up a health issue I provably did not. No, he did. He's obsessed about it. This went on for like ever and ever and ever. They were all arguing about it. There's me showing I'm literally using a Canva template, you moron. I didn't steal your branding for shit. They're making memes about it. The game was the best. We should start a new game. I don't know what game we would start on, but they're like, I'm so sorry you have to deal with this. Everyone in Keri's replies was like, Keri, I'm so sorry you have to deal with this game all day, every day. And Keri's like, I know, it's just so hard. I wonder how you would justify aiding someone who's attacked me on a daily basis for 3 years simply for unfriending her quietly. I have over 1,000 screenshots of tweets Keri made unfriending me quietly. She's done over 40 videos about me. Keri was so histrionic at this point. All I had to do was post the game board. They lost their shit. Hang on, I'm looking for other stuff in this post though. This is all in one day. Well, here, Keri claims I've done 40 videos about her. In the land of reality, after about 1,000 videos, there are 15 videos mentioning Keri. 6 were interviews before Keri went psychotic. 2 were inviting Keri to a healing conversation. One of them was me giving Keri 30 compliments. Sorry, not sorry. And then Keri was upset. I literally posted a video in which I gave Keri 30 compliments. And that was all I said was like, I'm going to say 30 nice things about Keri. Keri's complaining about it. Everyone's crying about it. They're like, she's harassing you. Like, look, Neurotics was talking about it. Like literally, no one actually watched the video. Yeah, do you remember that? The 30 compliment video? Yep. Yeah, that was a thing. No one actually watched it. They're like, Carlin's harassing you. I'm like, I literally posted a video like giving you 30 compliments. Like, what the fuck do you want? Yeah, well, I still have yet to see any evidence that bones were falling out of his mouth. Look, Chrissy May and her simp bitch husband were like harassing me about it. They were all upset. They made their own game board because they didn't even understand what the game was. They didn't even understand the rules of the game. And I just kept persevering, updating the game board every single day. Didn't talk about them for the rest of the day. This literally went on for months. I'm getting a tattoo. They start complaining about that. Everything I did, they were complaining about. The game explained. Is that the one we just watched? I was supposed to go to bed like half hour ago. Whatever. We're just chatting. It's after. It's almost midnight. We're gonna be able to update the scoreboard. Do you guys want to update the scoreboard for the Twitter game live?
I'm just reminiscing
Mike
at this
Harlow,
point.
last time I checked, still hadn't talked about me today. Mike Harlow might be 2 points up. If you don't know what the Twitter game is, we have 7 more minutes. So the Twitter game, let me actually...
Wow,
I
was tan.
Let me pull it up. Holy shit! Look how tan I was. Why do I look such like an odd color? Let me pull it up. I'll show you guys the game.
I look much better now.
And then I will continue to go through the chat. We can talk. Oh, yeah. Keri was losing her shit. Keri started losing her shit last night.
Yeah, this was probably after Porkfest. That probably was it.
So the Twitter game is a game that, well... Let me share screen. So, I am sick and tired of the 2 years of nonsense that I have had to endure at the hands of the good Christian town crier, otherwise known as Keri Smith, fame whore Baron Munchausen, otherwise known as Mike Harlow, stepmom, otherwise known as Deb Philman, and the Queen from England, who has no name because he doesn't deserve one, Kieran. I am sick of having to deal with the bullshit. I'm sick of it.
So sick.
They talk about me all the time. They say they used to say things. Are you guys enjoying this reminiscing about the game? I actually don't even know what's in this video. I'm just kind of watching the stuff. I'm just like going through some old stuff. Is everyone enjoying the reminiscing? This was such a fun time. I know I was being stalked and harassed every day of my life, but I feel like we really did have a lot of fun with this. It's like so they would say things like, if Carlin would just stop talking about us, we'll stop talking about her. Carlin is really the one causing this. If she just stops, we'll stop. Well, a funny thing happened. I got banned on Twitter for a month. So I literally could not talk about it. I was fucking permanently banned on Twitter for a month.
Yeah, this was in 2022.
So you would have thought, in that month, they would have fucking stopped talking about me. But they didn't. Every single day, they continued to talk about me.
True.
And so when I came back on Twitter, I decided to start a little game. Actually, and when I got permanently banned on Twitter for posting government email addresses, which I got overturned a month later, they actually tried to get my actively Unwoke account banned because they were like, Carlin's cheating. She has this other account. And I was like, it was like they did a whole deplatforming effort. And I was like, you guys understand you're acting woke, right? But they were so desperate to get me off Twitter that they tried to get my other account banned. I am keeping track. And every time the good Christian, the fame whore, stepmom, or the queen go one day without talking about me, they get a point, okay? If they then talk about me, they lose their point and they go back to 0. And the goal of this game is that I would like one of them to hit 30 days. The winner... This is where it's at in my head. I may expand it to 60 days. I might, but I don't even think we're going to get to 30. I would really like to incentivize the 4 of them to go 1 month without talking about me. Because it takes 30 days to build a habit. Wait, I want to give them... No, he's not. Mike Harlow isn't seriously cozying up to the Groypers, is he? That's not a real thing. You're making that up, right, Lars? Them as much incentive as possible to stop talking about me, to focus on their own lives.
Yep.
To
People
move
who are playing the
on,
game were
to do other
harassed.
things. I don't really care what they do. This is very much a like, I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here. So I would really like for one of them, at least one of them, ideally all of them, to hit the 30-day mark, going 30 days without talking about me at all. And so I'm keeping a daily scoreboard. And so for every day they go without talking about me, they get a point. The first 1 to 30 wins. Every single time they talk about me at all, to include interacting with that account that's stalking me, they reset to 0. And so today was day 4 of the game. And Keri had a fit about me on Twitter last night, so she lost. Deb and the Queen were both having fits about me as well. They were having a fit about me today, so they're at 0. They're all going to reset to 0. But the fame whore Baron Mike Harlow went all day yesterday without mentioning me, so he got a point. And in 2 minutes, if he hasn't mentioned me in 2 minutes, he's going to get a second point. So that's going to put him at 2 to 0 for everyone else. So he's going to have a 2-point lead. And that will be the record because Keri also went 2 days without talking about me until she had, at some point on the scoreboard, I added like their high count for how many days, like their high score for how many days they had gone without talking about me. A hissy fit temper tantrum last night. And so Keri reset to 0. So this is the scoreboard. This is the game. We get to update it in 2 minutes and release the new score. She did blow it, Phil. I was like, Keri went 2 days without talking about me, and I was like, Keri's gonna win. Okay, this is all just me updating the scoreboard. It's really not that exciting, I don't think. So we'll keep going down the game route. We just watched part of that clip anyway. So they're still complaining about, this is only like 2 weeks into the game. You can still find, I linked to all the Twitter threads. So yeah, so here is where I added their own personal records. So, 2 days for Keri, 3 days for Mike Harlow. Stepmom and Kieran hadn't gone like more than 1 day without talking about me in 2 weeks. I also had the current high score for the person who had hit the most days, which it was 3 days at this point. Look at this. She's still going. Victim Victoria obsesses over us every day. But if anyone responds, she's being harassed. Frankly, she's too irrelevant to me to give any more attention to. Anyway, here's her DMs threatening to destroy Kieran for rejecting her sexual advances. So he just got posting about me. Deb was talking about me. All this stuff. So what did I do? I just updated the game board. That's it. Just updated the game board. This is what pissed them off more than anything, is I literally wasn't interacting with any of their bullshit. I would just update the game board. That's it. Let's see. What else interesting happened? Oh, Sin. There's Sin. Oh, here is where the psychotic cunt that was this woman, check this out. This woman, every single time I updated the game board or mentioned Keri in any way on Twitter, this psycho paid Keri money. So literally, she said, Keri, I will give you up to X amount, and I will give you a certain amount of money every single time Carlin mentions you on Twitter or in a video about anything. And so this is like the stupidest tactic in the world, because I don't care how some bitch spends her money. It makes no difference to me. And she's literally giving me the power to spend her money for her by saying, every time Carlin does something, I'm going to spend money. But this is where Sin, we had done Sin, do you remember this? We had done a fundraiser to get Sin dancing classes because Sin wanted to go dance, but Sin is a senior citizen and she's on a fixed income and she was waiting for a kidney transplant at that point. So we did just a little fundraiser in our community. It wasn't even for that much money, where we did a give, send, go to get Sin some dancing classes. And so when we were doing something like really nice for like a member of our community, what happened? Keri's psycho comes in and said, maybe she's sick because she's a petty old bitch, according to Carlin's own words. I never called Sin a petty old bitch. Anyway, I doubt ballroom dancing is going to help her liver or keep her healthy. Maybe she'll have the experience she deserves. She literally wished a senior citizen who was a dialysis patient at this point, who was waiting for a kidney transplant. This is the good Christian Keri's best friend. And this wasn't the only time she harassed Sin. She used to specifically target Sin. So the game board got updated because they were pissed off. Other people were talking about it. Look, Deb is in the replies complaining about how we're doing a fundraiser for Sin. Deb looked especially bitchy in her Twitter photo then, didn't she? Hasn't changed. So the game board just got updated. Oh, at some point we started doing betting odds about the game. And I issued my odds, who I thought was going to win. Bot, do you remember this? This was the best meme Bot's ever made. Little Debbie Nutty Buddy. The game continued. They kept complaining. Let's see. I know there's some more videos on this page. Pretty sure. Oh, yeah. Kieran kept claiming that I sent him over 300 messages, which absolutely is not true. That's absolutely ridiculous. I did send Kieran messages trying to say, can we just do this in private? Can we just talk in private? Can you be an adult and be in private? Nope, nope, nope. Never could do that. Kieran claiming he had Stockholm syndrome. It's Stockholm. Oh, no, wait. No, Kieran was claiming the community had Stockholm syndrome. It's Stockholm syndrome with people dependent on her for structure, community, and attention. Many of Carlin's community members are socially isolated to some extent, so she hooks them like a drug dealer, exploiting an addict's dependency. Shame she shits over them in private. That's about my community members. Just because he was pissed off that he wasn't involved anymore. Oh, Bod, this is where they doxed you. Probably shouldn't show that on the internet. Whatever. It's alright. Look, that's Mike Harlow started doxing Bot. It'll be okay, Bot. It's fine. It's fine. We got you. It's all good. It's all good. We got you. It's fine. Here's Karen lying about me. Look at this. She threatened and said if I didn't get over. This is Karen. This is a year later into this. This was in like October or November of 2022. So this was a year after Kieran had lost his shit, and he's still fucking talking about it. And he's saying this is what he was saying to me when I was like, what, in that in between period where like Kieran had fucking lost it and he had just gone completely silent before I was supposed to go to London. And I was like, can you just like get over it? Can we move forward with the business? Can we, like, I know you're upset, but like, can we talk? Can we be adults? Can we do something? And Kieran is now saying a year later, she threatened and said if I didn't get over it, she would steal everything I had created, cut me out, and pass it off as her own. She would then go on to register the business under her name, which I did, to later use that as a way to win me back. She said she would put my name on the business too. So what had happened was, because Kieran had gone completely quiet, I was like, well, I'm just going to register the business in my name. And if Kieran doesn't want to come back and act like an adult, then I'm going to do it on my own and he can go F himself. And to be honest, there was nothing Kieran could do about it because I lived in the United States. Kieran didn't. I basically had done the majority of the business plan anyway. Kieran had helped out with the creative stuff, sure, but this was nothing that I couldn't do on my own. And so I was like, Kieran, you know what? I've given you every opportunity to be involved in this business. You're remaining silent and brooding. I'm supposed to go to London. You won't even answer any messages. So I'm going to assume you don't want to move forward. If you decide you want to move forward, then you can get your ass to fucking London just as we had planned. And if you do not do that, then I'm going to register the business and move forward on my own, which, to be quite frank, like, I don't actually think I was asking too much. We had spent months putting this business plan together. I did more work than he did. I was the one fronting all the costs for it. I was the one who paid for the fucking trip to London purely to see if there was any chance that we could actually work together. Of course, I set it up when we were still getting along, but like at this point, it was like, it really was a test. Like London was going to be, if Kieran didn't get his ass to London to try to figure it out, then there's no way I can move forward with him. There was no way he couldn't be cut out of the business. What did he expect to happen? Like, I just don't even know. But like, so I'd said to him, if you don't get your ass to London, I'm just going to move forward without you. And that's just going to be the way it is because you're the one that's putting the hold up on here. So he's complaining about it. He's saying, she threatened to steal everything from me. Well, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because the way the business has moved forward was completely rewritten, completely redesigned. And he doesn't have anything to do with it. And you know what the thing is that he's most pissed off about is that I started using AI to make the designs for the merch store. Now, the business idea is bigger than a merch store. Like I've always said, the business idea is actually bigger than a merch store. I'm just not telling you guys what it is. But like the thing that pisses Kieran off the most is I literally replaced him with a robot. I literally, like I had an epiphany one day. I was like, oh, I can replace him with a robot. Well, if he becomes friends with Kieran and these people, then he is definitely not getting the thing he wants. And I don't think he should. I don't think that's going to work out well for anyone. But he definitely shouldn't do that if he wants me to do the thing he wants me to do. So now Kieran spends all day complaining about AI because still, this is 3 years later. He's still so pissed off about the fact that I replaced him with a robot that he is just like obsessed with being the downfall of AI. If you don't believe him, go look at his Twitter account. So the game continued. They kept complaining. I launched the Art of the Trigger Substack. They kept posting all these clips about me. Oh God, the triggering of Deb Philman. Oh shit. The Art of the Trigger Substack is great. They're continuing to post about Aaron all the time. They're posting about my views. They're making memes, all this stuff. Where's the video with Chrissy May? I'm actually looking for something. There's a video with Chrissy May. They did a whole show about me. Keri did a whole show about me where they talked about me, but they didn't talk about me. Did I say that or are you making that shit up? I don't allow people to make shit up in my chat. Did I say that or are you just making shit up? I'll wait for you to answer that, by the way. Did I say that or are you just making shit up? If you don't answer honestly, I'm going to ban you. Let me be very clear. Did I say that or are you making shit up? Answer honestly or you're getting permanently banned from my chat. 5, 4, 3, 2. Answer honestly or I'm going to permanently ban you from my chat. Seems like you're going quiet, but I know you're there. Answer honestly, or I'm permanently banning you from my chat. Last chance. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, bro. Have a nice life. Goodbye. See how that works? Got to give people a chance, and then if they don't take it, goodbye, goodbye. Oh, God, this is when we went and yelled at Tulsi Gabbard. They ragged on me for that. Chrissy May called me fat. Shocker. Where's the Chrissy May video? Hang on. This is now day 24 of the game, and everyone's at 0. We had gone almost a month of this game, and no one was getting any scores. Yep, this is when Nitwits started. Exactly. I started Nitwits specifically to bitch and complain about Chrissy May. Look at this. Here's where I'm like, we're 30 days into this game. I'm seriously thinking of saying that I'll half the requirement to win the game and cut it off at 2 weeks. 2 weeks without talking about me wins the game. Beggars can't be choosers. I'll take what I can get. Everyone's still at 0. Oh, yeah, this is when Keri went on HG Tutor. Doxing bot again. Where the fuck is the Chrissy May video? They were harassing the LPNH account all the time. Oh, at some point I took Kieran off of the game board. Why did I take him off of the game board? Does anyone remember? There was a reason I did it. I just don't remember why I did it. Oh, here it is. What did I say? On day 29, I decided to remove Kieran from the game. I spoke with a woman Kieran said was his ex-girlfriend via email, who told me everything Kieran had ever said about her was a lie. Oh, this is when I figured out Kieran was a narcissist. That's why I removed him from the game board, because I had ended up emailing with someone who like Kieran claimed was his ex-girlfriend, and she ended up being like, well, really honest with me and saying he didn't exactly tell you the truth about that. I had long thought Kieran had some sort of psychotic break. The last time we had spoken, I saw it happen right in front of me in a split second, where he went from being one person into being a completely different person that I didn't recognize. But hearing from his not former girlfriend gave me additional perspective on what was wrong, and I had to confront the real realities that I didn't want to face about his mental health. I think he's doing what he's doing for attention, and I decided the greatest punishment I could give him would be denying him future attention, which of course I'm doing now, but like, I shouldn't ever talk about Kieran. I shouldn't ever give Kieran attention ever, because this is what he wants. This is what narcissists want. The worst thing that you can do to a narcissist is ignore them. This is why Kieran still talks about me to this day. Absolutely does. He still writes things on his Twitter account trying to trigger me to talk about him, because he is so desperate, because being connected to me and lying about me has gotten him more attention than he ever got at any other point in his life. I know even writing about him in this book is giving him what he wants, but I don't know how to tell the story truthfully and authentically without discussing him. So it is what it is. How he feels about it is immaterial to me. He has had every opportunity to make better judgments and has failed at every juncture. I can't base my actions on whether or not Kieran will make another bad decision. He will not control my life. And so I said, what did I say? No, I'm not going to share what the information is because it's no one's business, but there are two possibilities with this insider info. Number one, they are colluding together to give me this info to screw with me. Number two, the mental health problem is more serious than I thought it was. I place the odds at 50-50. I'm not sure which it is, but I also don't think it matters. Either way, it's not good. So I thought about it for a week and I considered what I should do about it. And I decided the best course of action is to remove him from the game. To be honest, I also kind of want to see what happens with removing him from the game, removing him from a source of relevance. Let's be honest, he didn't match the other three anyway. He was the odd man out. So what will he do now? With the attention removed, you know. So that's why I removed Kieran from the game. Where the hell is this Chrissy May video? I know there's a Chrissy May video on here I want to watch. Ba-da-da-da-da. Oh, shit. This is when the Don Bulldog thing happened. And we are like going after Tim Pool to try to get him to cover it. They were upset about that. Hang on. Chrissy, IE. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Bot, check this out. Hang on. Oh, God. I'm pretty sure Chrissy May tried to accuse me of swatting her at one point because of this. Okay, bot, do you remember this? Watch this. Before I went live, I just thought this would be a great time to talk about. So I got to tell you, it's, you know, Keri Smith has been running a stalker account about me on Twitter for years now. For years. And there have been multiple times that my community members have come to me and said, I want to create a stalker account about Keri. And every single time I've told them, no, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not cool, man. It sucks. And then one time, one of my community members just went ahead and created a stalker account for Keri. And, you know, like I've got like all my life, I've gone through these phases where I have like more masculine looks and then I go to more feminine looks and I go back to more. And it's like this. I'm pretty satisfied with how I look right now, though. I mean, I know I look high right there. That's not a good freeze frame, but like, I'm pretty satisfied with how I look right now. Told me afterwards, and I told them, shut it down immediately. Okay? Well, right before I went live, I was alerted by one of my community members, and I just wanted to let everyone know that there might be a Keri Smith parody account now at fake Keri Smith. The Keri Smith parody account. What, about an hour ago? I don't even know. And this time, I don't care anymore. I don't care. So, okay, stalk away, guys. Parody away. So I don't care. Have all the fun in the. Someone, and I'm not going to say who, created a fake Keri Smith parody account because they were sick of Keri's bullshit. And this is on day one of this account. This account had existed less than 24 hours when this happened. Watch what happened. The world. And just have a good time and don't get too mean. Okay, that's all I ask. Don't get too mean. I have shut that idea down every other time it happened. I'm just saying, don't cross the fucking line and whatever. I bless the stalker account because that's just what happens. That's just what happens. All right.
By talent agents.
Yes, Keri is very Christian today.
UTA got Taylor Lorenz a book deal with Simon & Schuster, and so right around that
this
time
was
when she
this was the first ever episode of Nitwits. Because I was watching Chrissy May's like you guys remember Chrissy May's Content House, where they did these videos where they did jazz fingers. Content House. So this was the illustrious Content House, and I was like, what the fuck even is this? Why is this even funny? So this was episode 1 of Nitwits.
after me started digging into my life and started interviewing.
That person just followed me on Twitter not
influencers that I
recently, by the way,
represented,
the one
but
talking.
The interviews consisted of like very preconceived notions from her,
Yeah.
right? Like imagine you're 16 and
Content House
the
was
New York
dumb.
Times calls you and goes, "Did you hear about the allegations about your manager doing this and this and this?" And the kid's
Wait,
like, allegations doesn't really register what that
You
means.
can
Maybe
twist
perhaps
anything.
if she even said allegations. I don't know what she said verbatim. Hopefully we'll find out during discovery in the lawsuit. But
I've just seen something that is funny. Is Bot still here? Did Bot leave? Go look at Chrissy May's Twitter. Right. Actually, hang on. I'll just show you guys. I'll just show you guys Chrissy May's Twitter right now. And this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the internet. You'll know. Okay, everyone in my cult, pay attention. Chrissy May's Twitter. 109,000 followers. What's that? She retweeted the Keri Smith parody account on day 1. On Chrissy May's Twitter. What's that right there on Chrissy May's Twitter? Chrissy May was so fucking stupid. She didn't recognize she was retweeting the parody account that we had literally just created. Do we think she realizes? No, she did not realize it was not Keri. Do we think that Chrissy May was paying attention? No. To the mystery community member who created this obviously really bad and terribly wrong parody account of Keri. To my mystery community member who set this up, even though I had trepidations about it, I have to say, you have proven yourself worthy. Yeah, that might have been one of the best ever. My laugh has not changed. Yes! Yes, she did! She fucking retweeted it! Yeah, like the tweet says, all I had to do to become an influencer was show my tits and say Content House with jazz hands, and Chrissy May thought that was really Keri. Keri was so pissed about this. You know, guys, I have to say, for those of you who saw my... Hang on. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. And say memories. Locals live stream last night, and you'll know who you are. You'll know what I'm talking about. For those of you who saw that live stream last night, I just want you to know that I am now back to normal. I have snapped out of it. Life is good again. I want everyone to go thank Chrissy for spreading this obviously amazing, totally not a bad idea. Chrissy, you are doing the Lord's work. No one's going to understand that tweet except people who know. We love you. Thank you for your service, Chrissy. Oh, God. That was the best. All right. I know who's behind the parody. I think that might be all that I really want to look at. Oh, yeah. This person's like, not gonna lie, I am beginning to have suspicions that fake Keri Smith is a parody account. And Keri's like, it's one of Carlin's crazies. And then they accused Bot of doing it. And Bot, by the way, did not actually create the parody account. I created the parody account, okay? And I don't apologize. I created it. I still have access to it if I want to. And I don't fucking apologize, Keri. Fuck you. Everyone knew I created it anyway, all right? That tweet was a work of brilliance. Alex and I talking about it. What happened in this? Did we do a whole holiday episode? Did you know, Chrissy? Hang on. What happened here? Okay, let's watch this. I don't remember what this is. Chrissy May accused me of having her swatted. Oh yeah, Chrissy May accused me of having her swatted. Chrissy May accused me of having her swatted. What the hell's going on with my hair? So she's like, why is my hair look crazy? That like drifts to the conservative right. And so here's what happened. So she's like Keri Smith's best friend. And so I did a Nitwits episode about her where I was like, let me watch Chrissy May and see why people like her, because I have no. Can everyone just acknowledge that, like, it's really, that's a horrible freeze frame. It's like, look at my hair now. I have so much better hair than I did before. And I was growing it out too. About the struggle to grow out my hair was real because I shaved the sides of my head for years. But I mean, come on, I look like a girl again. Do concept of why people like this woman, and so I did Nitwits about her, and then so I was in the middle of like a 3-hour stream where I was just watching her content to try to figure out like why people actually like her. In the middle of that stream, she was swatted in the fucking middle of it. And so I even said on the stream, I was like, oh great, here's what's gonna happen. Before I'm even done this stream, there's gonna be some sort of tweet that I got Chrissy May swatted. And sure enough, Chrissy May tweeted twice. He was like, I apparently had a narcissistic psychopath streaming about me tonight and I was swatted. Is that a coincidence? And I was like, bitch, I was literally live on the internet and I have no fucking idea where you live. But she's like awful, Alex. Like I watched Chrissy to learn how to become an influencer. And do you know what I know? Do you know what I learned from being an influencer? Is that I have to wear my tops down like this. True.
And I have to get a push-up bra. And I have to lose at least 50 pounds to be an influencer. And like her content is so fucking cringe. It's like she has content with like porn stars on it and like OnlyFans stars, and that's all she does.
What?
It's awful. It's so bad.
Maybe Big Tech should team up with Chrissy May. That might be a good look for him.
She drifting to the right.
I don't know, but
listen. If Big Tech is looking for a dumb girl to stream with, Chrissy May is like an excellent candidate for like the dumbest girl on the internet. I agree, Milo. I don't need to wear a bra. F that. And my boobs still look great. And I don't. That's just fact. Keri was on her show, and Keri was like, "They do look great." I swear to God, no. Keri's on her show all the time, and Keri's like,
"What?
Wait, no. Maybe I can find a clip of it." Keri was like, I had this narcissistic psychopath that's stalking me, and I don't really ever talk about it publicly, Chrissy, but maybe I should start talking about it. I swear to God, Alex.
That is the crime. You know what?
I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it right now. We're going to watch it.
I will say this now. There's a part of me that definitely regrets that Sassy Saturday didn't continue, because that absolutely needed to be an episode. I cannot believe that.
Let me show it to you. I'm gonna cue it up.
You need to show it to me.
I'm gonna find it right now. Hang on.
Basically, all that happened with Sassy Saturday, someone was asking earlier, is Alex got busy and he couldn't do it anymore. And now he's doing his own channel. He's doing really great, and everyone should go check out what he's doing.
And, I gotta play that. Hang on. It's like you're gonna die when you see this. Hang on. Oh shit, that's not what it is.
What the fuck? That's so
hang
weird.
on. I gotta find the spot. Oh, wait, here it is. Oh, I queued it right up. I was like, perfect. Hang on. Okay, so this was streamed literally the day. Hang on. This was streamed. I kind of want to go. Oh my God, this is going to piss Keri off so badly. I kind of want to go through my YouTube channel and find some of the. Like, this is a horror. Again, I'm like the worst freeze frame person ever. Like, I want to go through my YouTube channel and find some like Keri classic clips that I've made. To what does anyone want to like reminisce with me and watch like the old Keri Smith stalking videos?
Like, this is where I start to look really crazy on the internet. Like, let's reminisce about that time I was stalked for 2 years, but like, why not? Because it's
Literally
over
the
now.
day after I did my Nitwit stream
I'm
about her.
crazy.
Oh my God.
You're gonna fucking die. Okay, hang on. Let me get this in theater mode. You make it bigger.
Same thing to him. I was like, do you believe, God doesn't give you anything you can't handle? Because we're both talking about how. Ooh,
every time.
Hang on. There's about to be a super chat that's gonna come up.
He's in the trunk of my car.
No, not that one. Not that one. There it is. Okay.
I'm gonna have to definitely watch your Nitwits.
What's creative insult?
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvin Hinton, thank you for the 5. Never seen a more passive aggressive, obviously jealous live stream than the one last night by Rhymes with Barlin, Corey Senko. Yeah, it's so funny. She was doing the same thing that
Look at Keri's face.
we were talking about this with Aaron in April last night. Every online community has its lol cows. There are comedy lol cows. There are political lol cows. There are Twitch gaming lol cows. Just people who are so painfully not self-aware.
I'm painfully not self-aware, Alex.
Projection, and instead of like working on themselves, they try to take other people down because they operate in a lack mentality. Like, ooh, I see someone doing well. If I can just take them down, maybe I'll get their opportunities or their followers or their attention. And it was such projection because she was all like, oh, if people are telling me to idolize this person. Like, no one's telling you that. Like, are you kidding me? You
that
think
girl?
And it actually made me feel better about myself. Like, oh, this is why she's famous. I'm like, I don't think I'm famous, girl. Like, I can give you a list of clubs who won't write me back, markets I'm trying very hard to get into. Like, it's steady rejection all the time. And that's okay because like I have chosen to pursue. I could fucking toss this away and go work at the deli tomorrow. Like, I don't like, but you choose to struggle, and life is hard no matter what. It's hard to pursue your dreams. It's hard not to. So I am choosing the hard of seeing where this goes. And
because you're on the path where you've got bigger and bigger bosses.
You're on the path,
The funny
Chrissy.
thing about her is, and you know this.
You're on God's path, Chrissy.
I've never really talked about her.
She's never really talked about me. She's never really talked about me.
Like, she's the kind of, with me.
This was after I had over 1,000 screenshots of Keri not talking about me on Twitter for 2 years. Keri saying, I've never really talked about her on Twitter.
It's like a single white female, a little bit, with her former writing partner, this guy that she's stalking from the UK.
No, I'm stalking. And I'm stalking. Okay.
Like Fatal Attraction. It's different with different people, but she becomes attached like a barnacle. And the thing is,
they were literally saying I was Fatal Attraction because of Kieran's bullshit. When in fact I was like, can you go the fuck away now? No, really. Can you stop? Can you just leave me alone? Because like, you're not doing anything. You're not. Kieran to this day, by the way, like, because Kieran's a narcissist, Kieran likes to make it seem like he's doing all this stuff, and he pretends he's like this world-renowned. He pretends to be me. He pretends to be like this world-renowned expert on all things woke, but he writes no content. He makes next to no videos. His platform that Deb Philman is like the only person that he is a member of, it has nothing of value on it other than people paying Kieran money to do nothing, essentially. It's like, looking back at it now, if anyone like listen, I'm sorry, if anyone ever actually believed the lie that Kieran was the mastermind behind our whole business when I'm the one that's actually executed on it and he's done shit, that Kieran was the mastermind behind all the journalism when I have become one of the most successful independent journalists, like, covering the left, and Kieran has done nothing. Like, it's just like thing after thing after thing that he's like, oh, I'm doing this. And still to this day, he says this, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm doing that. I'm doing this. The story I broke when I was really the one that broke it. If anyone believed Kieran's bullshit, you owe me an apology, is what I'm saying. 3 years later, I think I've proven my point because he has accomplished nothing. And I have built one of the most focused, like, independent journalism platforms covering the left that exists on the internet. I'm sorry.
I know she's going to cut this because I never talk about her, and And she's
Never
done like
talks
40
about me.
plus videos on
40
me.
plus
I've been-
videos!
I wouldn't have
Like-
either had she not done a dedicated live stream.
Live
It's like,
stream.
girl, there's better uses of your time.
There were better uses
Right.
of my
The
time.
thing
and
is,
that's-
some of
I
them
think
that's
I'm
true.
gonna. I
going
think
to a
it's
planet.
And by the way, the reason that I did the live stream was because Chrissy talked about me from like a month prior, and I had just never gotten around to watching it. She posted a fucking video about me, and she's like, I don't know why Carla didn't respond. Like, you fucking talked about me, bitch. Like, what the fuck did you expect to happen?
Okay.
Anyway,
point
hang
out-
on. Let's let Keri finish. Hang on, and then I want your reaction.
Okay.
Oh, Planet Fitness.
Oh, yeah.
She. How can I say this? I think I'm over my policy of just straight up not saying something, but that also doesn't mean I'm gonna do like some fucking response video, which is so lame. Like that's what she wants, and I don't. That's not what I want to spend my time doing. I think that's so trashy. Like that's her whole stream now. Is she
Yeah,
just
and you know
attacks people.
I was just saying,
My
And-
whole
I hope
stream is just
hope she
attack. Yeah, they say this to this day. They say this to this day. And like this is another thing that Big Tech said to me, like in terms of like, Carlin, don't you just have conflict with everyone? Carlin, don't you just attack everyone? That all came from this. Carlin's YouTube channel is only videos attacking other people. Oh, is it? Is it? Have you ever actually looked at my YouTube channel? Have you ever come to a Socialism Saturday? Chrissy May is obviously not smart enough to come to Socialism Saturday, but there are a lot of smart people who do come to Socialism Saturday. Yes, this is correct. Socialism Saturday was born of Sassy Saturday because Alex and I have been doing Sassy Saturday for a while, and then Alex had other stuff he needed to do, so we had to stop doing Sassy Saturday. And like the very next Saturday, the Socialism Conference was streaming. And so I was like, okay, well, we're not doing Sassy Saturday. Let's do Socialism Saturday.
got followers from it. I hope
I
she
hope
got
I didn't
the
get
juice
Chrissy
she
May's
wanted
followers.
from talking about me for a couple hours,
Yeah.
and you as well. I hope she gets followers from hating on you. I hope that this makes her happy and she gets all the clout that she wants from talking about both of us. Because what other reason would there be?
Can
That
you
kind of
can you
person
imagine? Can you imagine Chrissy May lacking so much self-awareness that she really thinks that anyone doing she's pretending that anyone doing a reaction video is like just this desperate poor person on the internet. And Chrissy May would never do reaction videos. Chrissy May would never engage in that type of content. Has Chrissy May ever actually watched her own content? Because she does the exact same thing I do with nitwits all the time. Literally, they do the exact same thing. And then someone does it to them, and they're like, I just can't. I hope she's happy with that. And I hope she's happy. And I hope she get all this clout and all those followers. And it's just like, it's just too bad that she has to resort to this type of content. But she does exactly the same thing all the time. They all do this.
She is not made happy unless she's
Smeared Eliza Blue
sees someone
for
in pain.
days.
She's a sadist.
I'm a sadist.
She has said she enjoys. She calls it psychological fuckery.
Yes, I do
She's
enjoy
done videos about
psychological
this.
fuckery. Yes, I have.
She enjoys
Right.
doing,
Yes,
like hurting people. That's a
She's
safe.
your biggest fan.
And
she is. It's
so,
true. It's
no,
true.
I don't think getting
Keri's
followers
obsessed
makes her
with me.
happy. I don't think. But if she can put you down or put someone else down, and if she thinks that it's affected you, then her dark little heart is like, wee.
Funny.
Like,
It's like, girl, life has put me down. There is
That's actually
nothing
kind of
you
true. I'm not
can
even
do
joking.
that
That's
is
kind of
gonna
true.
top, like my lived existence. But
yeah.
Her lived
anyway,
experience.
yeah.
Anyway, Alex, reaction.
Oh my lord. Well, can we just acknowledge the complete bald-faced lie that she has ever had an approach of not saying something?
Keri, this
Ever.
is like when Keri with HG Tutor was like, I've got no contact with her. HG, like,
Oh,
no, you
yeah.
haven't,
Oh,
Keri.
yeah.
Oh my God. Keri arranged an entire interview with HG Tutor just to talk about me. HG Tutor is like this YouTube narcissism expert, and Keri got a chance to interview him. And Keri's entire interview was I have this problem with this narcissist stalking me, and HG Tutor just kept telling her, go no contact Keri. And Keri's like, no, HG, you don't understand. I never talk about her at all. I never, ever, 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 ever talk about her at all. This is not that type of stream. If you don't want drama, you don't have to be here. We do other stuff too. You can go watch the stream I did yesterday. You can go watch. Have you seen Socialism Saturday from this past week? Go watch that. You don't have to be here just because it's live. I appreciate you, but you don't have to be here. Anyway, so Keri basically, like, HG Tutor kept telling her, just stop talking about her, Keri. Just stop. If you are really dealing with a narcissist, just stop talking about it. And Keri was like, oh, you don't understand, HG. I never talk about her. I never talk about her at all. Meanwhile, I have an entire archive of Keri not talking about me. And she's like playing the victim to this like world narcissism expert saying, I really never say anything, but she just won't go away. And I haven't said anything for months and she just won't stop. Okay. Not in any way have you got no contact. I would give my right fucking arm for Keri to go no contact.
Holy shit. Like, it's like, I get it. Maybe Chrissy, whatever.
Yes, this is exactly right. Keri was just saying to Chrissy May, I never talk about Carlin, but she literally arranged an hour-long interview with a world narcissism expert just to bring me up. That happened. It did.
She doesn't know, right? She doesn't know that Keri's always tweeting about you or whatever. But it's like the bold-faced lie of this woman. It's just complete lies. I did love the dark little heart. That was everything. I loved the she lives to see people in pain. That's good. I'm gonna use that one.
Well, it's like I literally, Alex, I have over 1,000 screenshots of tweets that Keri Smith has sent about me. Over 1,000 screenshots. That's no joke.
My favorite thing too is, my other favorite is, as soon as she sees your name,
yes, she did.
She
yeah.
changed her whole like her whole face and posture, and
I get to talk about Carlin.
She went to this like at first she like was gleeful, and then she's like, you know, she put on her victimhood face. Yeah, her.
It's just so hard. It's so hard.
Gosh, you know, it's just so hard to exist in the same world as Carlin Brasenko.
I think
it's like, girl.
I think that Deb was declared the unofficial winner of the game just because she was in the lead when I decided to end it. Because at one point I just got sick of it. I was like, I'm sick of updating this game board. The game is over.
And then she's quoting you and all this, and it's like, she watches everything you do, I'm sure. Like,
oh, yo, they're all talking about him.
A lot of your fans.
They're all talking about him. And listen, this is not his fault. I'm not trying to be like harsh against him here. This is actually like I never really talked to him about this. I maybe mentioned it once and then like kind of like in passing, like, hey, I have this problem of these psycho people on the internet that have been keeping it. So like he didn't, I really fucking hope he didn't know. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for the moment and say, I think he didn't know. So I'm not saying that like he did this on purpose, but the minute here's the problem. The minute that he made that stream where he insinuated that, no, didn't just insinuate, where he stated that I had romantic feelings for him, he gave them the biggest fucking gift they've been given in years. I had finally got all this shit to quiet down. Like, I've been really successful with what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden that gets put out into the ether. And oh, does he wonder why he made $500 off of that stream? Is it curious that he made $500 off of that stream when he never makes $500 off of that stream? Like, I mean, at least not when I've been watching. Like, you know, oh yeah. Oh, they all know about it. Yeah, they all know. They've all been. That's part of the problem. And that's why, if he wants me to do something for him, I am more than happy to consider it as long as it's acknowledged that his actions have actually fucking caused me problems. Significant problems. And he shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. Fuck it. I'll just say it. He shouldn't have fucking done that. He shouldn't have said that I have romantic feelings for him. He shouldn't have said it. It was like, Everything I've done with him has been bantering. And he did it back to me, and it was innocent on both sides, and it was never about anything other than sometimes you just do things just to do them. I mean, it's just like not even that big of a fucking deal. And so it's like, if there can't be some sort of fucking acknowledgement of why I made the decisions I did, in order, because I thought he was setting me up to do basically exactly the same thing Kieran did to me again, when I had already suffered through 2 years of this bullshit. And he's literally rolling out the playbook, like, right in front of me. And one of the ways I can maybe mitigate it is by doing a preemptive strike on dropping the DMs. I really didn't want to release anything. I really didn't. But I was like watching the situation unroll right in front of me. Exactly the same playbook. Exactly the same MO. I knew what DMs he had. I knew which ones he could take and twist. I knew which ones he could crop out, the things he said. I knew which ones that were always just like banter that he was engaging with as well. Didn't mean anything. It was just innocent. I could see it happening right in front of me. I was like, oh no, not again. And that's why I dropped the DMs. And it wasn't because I wanted to. It wasn't because I wanted to break his trust. It wasn't because I wanted to destroy him, because I never did want to destroy him. And I know people aren't going to like this because a lot of people don't like him. I understand that. I know people aren't going to like me like saying this. Like, I really didn't want to do that. But I had also told him at one point that the only reason that I would do that would be if I felt like I had to, if I feel like someone put me in a position where I had to. And he really did. And he may have done it inadvertently, and he may not have known the full context, but like, and maybe he really did I mean, I guess, I don't know, but like, if he wants me to do something for him, I need this perspective to be heard and acknowledged. Yeah, and this was my thought. Like, when someone is threatening to blackmail you, always put the stuff out yourself. Well, because it's something that they can use against women very easily. The preemptive strike was my only defense. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. Taking the wind out of his sails was exactly the right call. I thought he was going to go out. I thought he was going to release them regardless, so. He also had a ton of public L's on Cozy. Yeah, I know about that. And that was all doing his own thing. I mean, that's fair enough. Every time that you have problems with someone, the horde seems to try to become that person's BFF just so they can get info. And yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, I mean, again, it's almost like the saving grace of why I don't necessarily think they're going to try to befriend him is that he is who he is. He believes what he believes, and he does not believe anything close to what they believe. And that might be like the only saving grace. Yeah. All right, let's keep watching this.
And or a lot of your viewers, she probably knows it better
Yo,
than
Lime
anyone,
Lady.
you know? That's
Lime Lady's still obsessed with me too. I don't know what it is about me triggering people that they then become obsessed with me for like we only knew Lime Lady for like 2 weeks. Lime Lady was in our community for 2 weeks before I said something that was like against Christian stuff. And then Lime Lady like freaked the fuck out and realized I wasn't a Christian, and then she ran right over to Keri and like went psychotic about me ever since. Lime Lady's like, I haven't looked at her Twitter account in a really long time, but like last time I looked, her entire Twitter account, like going back years, was all about me. Lime Lady was a psycho. Like, you got shamed in front of everyone, and frankly, anybody acting like Kieran is taking a public L. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Oh yeah, Lime Lady got pissed off because I don't believe that that hell exists. That's exactly it.
It's just so crazy.
Keri has people who she has literal flying monkeys who watch everything I do, and there will probably be clips from this stream on Twitter before we even end this stream, Alex. That happened. That really did happen.
Dedication.
It's so bizarre. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. And it's like, you know, I mean, Keri, I mean, this is another thing we can talk about. Keri got herself fired from Unsafe Space due to her obsession with me. True. Which I just have to say, like, I took absolute pleasure and glory in when she got her ass fired from Unsafe Space. And then Carter sent her a cease and desist letter because Keri went around the internet saying Carter stole half my company, when in fact, like, it was never half Keri's company. Carter always owned the company. My hair was so awful then. What the fuck was I thinking?
That is crazy.
What was I doing?
Like, she even tried to play that. Like, she even tried to go that way with it.
Oh yeah.
I try not to say anything. Oh really?
Really, Keri? Then why do I have over 1,000 screenshots, Keri? Over a fucking 1,000. I just don't know. I have gone no contact.
So I want to ask you this. I was dying to know. Okay. What are your thoughts on Keri and Adam's friendship?
They aren't friends.
Well, they acted like they were.
No, they're not friends at all. They, like, one of the things about that whole horde is like they all act like they're friends. They aren't friends at all. None of them can stand Deb. You can tell that. It's like Keri and Adam aren't friends. Like, I do think that Keri and Mike Harlow are friends, like, in some weird way. I think they're like codependent on each other. But like, Keri and Mike Harlow are not friends with anyone else they claim to be friends with. Like, it's like, so I haven't watched the streams that Mike has done with the Queen, but like, what I've been told is that they're incredibly uncomfortable to watch. And I know the Queen well enough to know that he is not friends with Mike Harlow. He's using Mike Harlow to get clout. Like, it's so obvious to me.
Well, I watched one of theirs, and it was, you know, the Queen said he missed Sassy Saturday, and he said it's a shame that it wasn't going on anymore. So.
Oh, really, Kieran?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Yeah. Hi, Kieran. We're back.
We're back. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
or
Kieran.
Keri, you know, or the horde, you know, I'm satanic for being here. So I'm evil.
I mean, whatever. Like, I just have nothing to say to that. It's like, it's so stupid. Like, you know, it was funny going back through all of Keri's tweets to write Surviving Keri Smith, which is survivingkerismith.substack.com, where you can see every bullshit thing that Keri Smith has ever said about me. But it's like, it was so bizarre to see it, because it was like, when I tweeted the Hitler went to heaven thing, Keri wasn't even outraged. Her first tweet was laughing about it. She was laughing. She was like, "Oh, here we go." And she had another reason to attack me. And I was just like, and then she went, Alex, that month that I tweeted that, she sent over 100 fucking tweets about me. In that single month. In that single month. Over 100 fucking tweets about me.
I think she was so happy because it was like a time to do a pile-on.
Yeah, that's exactly what they were all doing a pile-on. It's like it's so
listen, man. Listen. If you are like a veteran in my community, if you look at my face, worst freeze frames in the world. If you survived the Keri Smith wars, you are like a hardened fucking, like Sin was already a veteran in the Navy, but let me tell you what, like the people that survived the Keri Smith wars, they weren't just going after me. They were going after every single person. They fucking doxed bot, for crying out loud. Like, you are like this is how we developed our resilience. This is how we developed the give no fucks attitude that we have. This is the reason why we have no problem going after James Lindsay for his shit or anyone else. Like this, I mean, it's maybe in some respects we should be thankful. Maybe in some respects the Keri Smith wars made us, it was like our march through fire. It made us who we are. It bonded our community together. Yeah, like there should probably, that's actually a really good idea. That's actually a really good fucking idea. Like, that is a really good idea. I'm taking a screenshot of that, Myriad. It brought us together. We bonded. We all understood. It's like, and at the same time, Mike Harlow just happened to do a video about me, which is the most successful thing he's ever done on his channel, is about me, because he has nothing else. Like, Keri writes an essay about how I'm her abusive mother. That disaffected asshole, and I just found this out this week, like, did these shows where he literally put images of me in his thumbnails, like, all around the same time period. I'm like, True.
You are all grifters, man.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Slocum of the Disaffected podcast literally modeled some of his thumbnails after me.
Like,
Hunter
come on.
Avalon drifted off of
Saying that I had narcissistic personality disorder.
it too.
Oh yeah, he did. Everyone did. Everyone did. It's just like, do you guys have no lives? It's so ridiculous. But that was a really eye-opening experience for me, I have to say.
All right. Check this out. I want to watch a different video. This is the video. My hair looks so much better now. Holy shit. Yep, husband was right. Needed to grow the hair out. I did it for him. I didn't want to do it as a pain in the ass. My hair was in the awkward stage for like a year and a half. But like once it got to like a reasonable length, I need to get cut. Like I don't actually think I've gotten it cut the entire time I've been growing it out. And so now my hair is like all sorts of weird lengths, but I also kind of like it from like an 80s vibe, to be honest. So I don't know if I want to get it cut because I feel like it would kind of lose like the essence of what it is right now. Anyway, this is a video where Keri called me psychotic, and then I proceeded to give Keri 30 compliments on Sassy Saturday. Hang on, I'll go back and read them because you guys might not be able to see them. So this is Keri saying she's done 8 attack videos and hundreds of attack posts on him in the past week and a half, lying about him and defaming him in the process. But sure, her well wishes must be sincere. Okay, she's talking about when I said that Mike Harlow didn't have cancer when Mike Harlow provably did not have cancer. Let's see, get to the next one. She says, everyone who likes my content is in a cult and I'm a stalker. She says, people can wake up from the cult of an individual, just like they can wake up from an ideological cult. But some people can change. I've had a handful of people now, strangers like Lime Lady, who used to attack me on this stalker's behalf, message me to apologize once they started looking. So Keri literally told people that when people escape from my cult, which Lime Lady was only around for like 2 weeks, Keri's telling people
that I've brainwashed people and given them Stockholm syndrome to be in a cult. And it is an intrepid journey with which someone has to escape from my cult. And once they escape from my cult, they find Keri. And my cult is built entirely around attacking Keri. And all I ever did was just go tell people to attack Keri. But once people pull themselves out of my evil, evil grip from the cult, once they manage to do that, they go and they find Keri. And they apologize for their transgressions against her. And then Keri welcomes them and says, "I'm so glad you escaped the cult. Welcome." Like, that's literally what she's fucking saying here. I treat them as if they're sincere, but I'm cautious. Many who have left have become targets of her themselves and are singled out by her for abuse. To you who are still in it, these people, her people, and now called Keri Smith's imaginary horde, as Mike notes, it's like Scientology. Keri literally said that anyone who likes my content is basically a Scientologist. I wonder if I put any more in here. Oh, she's called me a parasite, vampire, monster, and predator. This is in January 2022. The reply she shared is from January. I stand by every word. She is a parasite, vampire, monster, predator. I don't allow anyone, especially an abuser, liar, stalker, and harasser, to police which words I use. I use the most accurate. Screenshot this if you must. Bottomless pit of dark. You know what I kind of want to do? Oh shit, this would get me in trouble. Okay. It's almost 2 a.m. So can I just put a crazy idea out there for you guys? Can you guys help me evaluate an idea and tell me if it's a good idea or not? This is like when I get creative, okay? When I get creative, I have crazy ideas, and some of those ideas are good and some of those ideas are not good, and I can acknowledge that, but this is just a brainstorming sesh. What if I went back through and looked at some of Keri's old tweets? Well, first of all, wait a second. I just had a second idea. Do we need to write a song based on Keri's tweets? Do we need to use AI to write an AI song about Keri's tweets about me? Like, I can pick out the top Keri tweets of all time, like the one where she said I was forming a hunting posse about her, or the one where she's calling me a parasite, or the one where she calls me like Charles Manson with a YouTube channel, and I can go back through Keri's tweets and get like the best fucking lines, and we can make a song. God bless AI. Well, what I was thinking, Lars, and we can actually do both things. I was thinking I should take some of the lines from Keri's tweets and use them to make AI art, make a t-shirt inspired by Bottomless Pit of Dark. And like do some cool AI design for that. And I can do a whole Keri series. We'll call it the Keri series, but it's like Keri the movie, Carrie, like the Stephen King movie. But instead of that Keri, it'll be this Keri. This is the t-shirt idea might be a bad idea, but it also could be a great idea. I kind of feel like I think the song idea needs to happen. Should we do an accompanying t-shirt series is the thing. And we can write the song, and the celebration of the song release can be I can also launch the t-shirts at the same time. Based entirely on Keri's tweets about me. I think this is a good idea. I don't think anything could go wrong with this plan. This is destined for greatness. See, I knew there was a listen. I may have gone through 2 years of absolute living, breathing hell. But you have to admit that the living, breathing hell that I was put through kind of turned out like, given we're being nostalgic about this stuff, we're gonna write songs about these things, we're gonna make merch about these things. Like, it's like it is a reminder that even though I sank into a deep dark depression for a while, and even though I had a breakdown, and even though I almost quit the internet like 17 times, and even though I really seriously thought about killing myself just to make it stop. Don't worry, I'm fine now. It was just momentary things. It was, I worked it out. It was a long time ago. But even though all those things happened, and it was basically like the darkest time of my life, and I gained a metric fuck ton of weight, and I looked awful, and I looked crazy, and like everyone around me was lying about me, and everyone thought I was a pedophile, even though I don't like kids, and I got a hit piece written on me in Newsweek, and I got called all these things. Even though all that happened and all that's true and all that's real, we can acknowledge now that if you can just make it through the storm and you can get to the other side, you too can have a merchandising opportunity. You too can have a merchandising opportunity if you can survive a massive 2-year-long gang stalking harassment campaign. You too can write AI music. You too can have a merchandising campaign. So it's like taking lemons and making them lemonade, and acknowledging that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that if you can just get through the tunnel, man, it's going to be okay. You're going to survive. I promise. It's a message of hope, really. This merchandising campaign will be a message of hope to the masses that you too can survive gang stalking and live to profit off of the experience. It's possible. I think this is a great idea. We also really should. I mean, I know Bot made a Kool-Aid shirt at some point, but we also really should have a Kool-Aid shirt for the cult. I should have a cult-inspired Kool-Aid instead of like purple Kool-Aid, though. It's got to be green because the cult logo is green. Green Kool-Aid's better anyway. Like everyone talks about. I know purple's my favorite color, though. I mean, maybe we can have both. Anyway, let's keep watching. Do I have any more Keri tweets in here? Oh, okay. So here's when I gave Keri 30 compliments in a row. That we give, I think, really constructive advice and even some sage wisdom on these streams. And I want to say this too. Listen, of course, Alex and I are going to watch the stream and be just the tiniest bit bitchy, just like a little bit. But like, if they make good points, I am going to make it a priority to say that I agree with them. Like, I don't believe in just ripping people down just because I don't like them. Like, if they make good points, I will say that I agree with them. If they make stupid points, I will say that it is a stupid point. If they say something that is directly contradictory to their public actions, I will call them raging hypocrites.
Yes.
But this is not just a stream to hate on them the entire time. I really want to have it be a constructive stream where we're, talking about life and lessons and all of those things as well. And I'll say this too, like someone said to me after Nothing Remotely Controversial this week, they said, you're just jealous of Keri because she had a profile in the Epic Times. Well, first of all, I didn't even know she had a profile. I literally didn't even know she had a profile in the Epic Times until that person said that to me. So I was like, okay. But secondly, I want Keri to be profiled in the Epic Times. I have said it a million times, and I do actually genuinely mean this. Although I think Keri is a deranged psychopath in regards to me, like Keri is actually like a good person in regards to other people in her life. She just has a weird freaking psychotic bend about me that I haven't quite figured out. But I want Keri telling her story. I want Keri being on shows. I want Keri writing books. I want Keri's story to be featured. I think that Keri is very good at waking people on the left up. And to be honest, and I've again said this a million times, I learned a lot from Keri Smith before she turned completely fucking psychotic on me. Alex, we have a little tradition on Sassy Saturday, which is that you, as the Christian among us, will lead us in a moment of prayer. We prayed. Okay. Our grace and salvation. And whatever. I just said we prayed. It's 2 a.m. Okay, it's 2 a.m. We prayed for Keri. I'm not even a Christian. We literally prayed for this woman.
I'm allowed to say no. I'm just kidding. But okay, let me calm down the rate. It's gonna be a little hard. I don't know what it is, but something about Mike really triggers the hell out of me. So I'm really going to have to, you're making me do the Christian work now. Now this is becoming a spiritual exercise.
Well, you have to demonstrate what a good Christian is, because God knows Keri Smith isn't.
Oh God, well, she needs to learn for sure.
We need to provide positive role models.
Okay. Let me try to get my heart of stone to like soften for a second. Okay. Okay. All right. Dear Lord, I do want to go ahead and pray for Mikey, especially Mikey's father. I pray that Mikey's father will have a very quick recovery from what has happened. I don't know all the details, but I hope that he will be okay, that he will make a speedy recovery, and that, you know, they will still have a lot more time together in life. I pray that it will bring him and his father closer, and that it will hopefully bring Mike some peace. I do want to pray for Mike as well. I want to pray for you to help him when it comes to his struggles with his sexuality. I want you to please help him when it comes to...
Alex just threw such shade in the prayer. This is why I started busting out laughing, because Mike Harlow hates that he's gay. Mike Harlow hates it. This is why Mike Harlow spends so much time seducing straight men, because he hates that he's gay. Self-hating gay is a thing. And so when Alex was saying, I hope Mike Harlow comes to terms with his sexuality, that's what he was talking about.
You know, any kind of self-acceptance in terms of who he is, or any of these different things. Please, Lord, heal the insecurity that he has about anything about himself, as we are all created in the image of you, Lord. And I pray for Keri as well. I pray that Keri will please, you know, see the light. Please draw her closer to you. And, you know, please cleanse her heart of this hate and derision and, you know, these toxic tendencies that she has. Please heal her of those things. I know that you have healed them in me, Lord. So I have all the faith that you can do that for her as well. Even if it may take time, please work with her and heal her of her past hurts and make her brand new, like fresh snow.
Brand new, like fresh snow.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Alex, that was a lovely prayer.
Thank you.
A little slightly passive aggressive, but, you know, lovely.
I'm trying to be real. And the Lord loves the truth. It's the truth. But
He knows.
Yes, I want her to heal from this, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Hey, again, I like that Keri's out there doing this stuff.
I do too. I'm really
I think that's what she should be doing, because there are so many people who you don't know where to turn when you leave the left. And when I left the left, Keri Smith was the person I turned to, and I learned so much from her. And so I think that I love that she's doing this event. I love that, and you know, I love that resource is being provided. There needs to be more resources like that. Unfortunately, Walkaway is not providing those resources, even though the entire mission of Walkaway is supposed to be about getting people to leave the left, and all they do is hold events with conservatives. I've never understood it, but I mean, I do. True. That's where they raise their money, but I'm really glad other people are holding these events.
So this is the current state of things at our panel in Austin for women leaving the left. Let's see if I can turn this around. How do I do that?
That's legit, man. I haven't seen a good Antifa sighting lately. Good for Keri.
Oh my God.
Good for her.
I'm glad she's doing stuff.
I am too.
So they just kind of posted up at all the entrances with their signs, and some of them were making a primate kind of gestures with their groin. I'll take you outside.
Gestures with their groin. She does go outside.
This is my beautiful friend sitting out here.
I'm significantly more impressed now. Does she have anyone with her?
I'm sorry.
That's actually legitimately brave if she went outside with no one with her.
Yeah.
Does she just work there?
No, she's so.
What the hell?
No,
No, she's one of my good friends, and she
They really were making a lot of noise.
volunteered
This is
to
what
work
happens
the
when you live in
door, and
Austin.
She had to,
Like, I want to say, like, Keri is legitimately brave for going outside with no security.
Yeah.
I would not have left that building with no security. So, you know what? Good for her. I'll give her
And
props
again,
for that.
I want to reiterate my bitch point, which is, I'm a major fan of Carlin, but I do not kiss Carlin's ass anywhere near the amount that Mikey kisses Keri's.
Alex, can't you just say I'm stunning and brave and beautiful and amazing and an angel? Can't you just do that in like extra gay voice right now and like flip your hair when you do it?
I don't think I can. It's not in me. Because I do give you credit, and then I also give you criticism.
Yeah, you give me a lot of criticism. Okay, I do have to give Keri major props there. That was a good fucking video. Like, props to Keri for that. I have no problem with anything that Keri has said or done so far.
Good job, Keri.
Good
Really
job,
good
Keri.
job.
Good
Yes.
job, Keri. Yes.
Really good.
it's a study by Jay Green, and the title of it is Puberty Blockers, Cross-Sex Hormones, and Youth Suicide. And so what he's done with this study is he's really dispelled a lot of the lies, a lot of the untruths that they speak to try and force us as a society to accept genital mutilation on children, to accept giving children cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers and double mastectomies. And a lot of those lies, I'm sure you guys have heard them, and I see them all the time from parents in these parents of trans kids groups. They say, if you don't validate, if your child comes home and says, I'm trans or I'm non-binary or what have you, if you don't validate, and they say if you don't validate and if you don't use the pronouns that they want, that your child might end up killing themselves. And they also say, would you rather have, because when a person changes their name in the trans rights community, that part of social justice, they call it their old name, their dead name. And so they'll often say, would you rather have a dead name or a dead kid? And that is so emotionally manipulative.
They're
Keri's right.
emotional extortionists is what they are.
That's right.
Yes,
I
that's a
agree.
better phrase.
It's abuse.
Emotional extortion. It is abuse.
Everything these people do is it is all the language of abusers.
Yes. I don't let people talk to me that way anymore in these kind of debates. Some people who found my Instagram after the event this Friday were trying that. They were sort of saying, you know, everything that you women were there saying that night leads to people killing themselves.
Isn't it ironic that Keri is pretending to care about this issue and Mike Carlo is pretending to care about this issue when I was trying to host an event with Gabrielle Clark to literally help parents who are going through this exact thing, Gabs was inundated with direct messages from these morons saying, you have to disavow Carlin or else. And Gabs was like, go fuck yourself, because she's not going to take that shit. And then they started going after her and trying to cancel the event. But no, they're very deeply concerned. Deeply concerned about everything.
That's BS. That's emotionally manipulative. It's language, and it's something an abuser would do.
I agree.
Stop doing it. I'm not going to respond to
Then
that.
what language?
Keri is correct.
What language was it that led to Daphne Dorman killing herself?
Love the sass. We're gonna have to watch him at some point for sure.
God, don't make me suffer through that. God, that would be worse than this video. At least I agree with a lot of the stuff they're saying.
We are agreeing. They're doing better.
They're doing fine. I mean, Mikey's still a gay sidekick. Keri's doing fine. I don't actually have that many complaints about Keri in this video. It's like,
Keri is doing
Jesus
really well.
Christ. If only Keri could not be psychotic towards me, we would like have nothing to talk about and it would be fine and we could all just do our own work.
Right. I love that she's doing those events. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So there's improvement there for sure. And I do think Mike is being much more likable than he was a couple years ago. So I have to give him that. There is some movement there in this stream. I will give him that. Now he may let me down. I mean, we're only
we're only like halfway done.
Yeah.
Don't speak too soon. All right. Is that apparently Mikey helped Grady leave the left. And so he's had great conversations with him. And I can respect that. I actually can. I think it's a little sad that he was the only person that answered, but I can. Grady, by the way, later threatened. Grady now works, or he did work at some point with Gays Against Groomers, and Grady literally threatened to hacks and dox people for speaking out and whistleblowing about the treatment that they received while working with Gays Against Groomers. So Grady was doing like their IT or something, and he threatened to like hacks and dox anyone who said anything negative about Gays Against Groomers. For real.
I respect that.
I'm telling you, we come up with such good ideas. Like Keri writing a book, that'd be a great idea.
It's a great fucking idea. Keri, you should write a book.
Yes. And Mikey doing the political cooking videos. Those would do so well. I feel like he would do so well. It's so sad to see people just not doing it.
Yep.
Google Chromebooks. So a lot of schools have these Chromebooks that they give for free, which sounds like a great thing, right? Like, oh, this company's doing something great. They're giving Chromebooks for kids to use in class. They are monitoring everything your kids are doing at school, and they're using it to learn how to advertise to kids better. That's just one of the things they're doing. I mean, who knows the possibilities?
That's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that point.
You're letting them collect that kind of data on your kids.
And it's bad for me to be like, I like you if you change. Like, that's kind of cold. But, you know, I mean, if they were different, if they weren't acting like SJWs, like, I like that Keri is doing things. Like, that's really good.
Yeah, it's great.
So when I see her doing this stuff and she's active and she's doing things, it makes me much less likely to criticize her in the future. So I'm happy that she's getting active and she's helping people and stuff.
I agree.
Again, might not be my cup of tea because I do feel like she's controlling, but I like that she is doing good things.
Keri is going to be able to reach a very different audience than I can reach.
Yes.
Like, we just have different audiences. We have different perspectives. We have different attitudes. And so I love that she's out there doing something and talking to people and doing events and filming videos and going on shows.
Yes.
It's all really good because like I can't appeal to everyone. Like this, I've never believed in the idea of competition because it's like, I have my audience, you have your audience, Keri has her audience, Mike Harlow has 3 people that occasionally watch him and, you know, whatever. But like, you know, everyone has different audiences and there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, just like, I think that if people are just themselves, they're going to naturally attract people that are going to be inclined to their messaging. And I'm going to attract very different people to my audience than Keri will attract to hers. And it's all good because we all, in theory, are working towards the same effing thing.
We should do a gratitude thread because, man, that day I was like, I know I need one.
That's a good idea, Keri. You should do gratitude threads.
No, I don't think so. Everybody's sharing all these really fun, joyful things. But this one guy was saying nothing in my life. And I've been in this depression for a while. And this is something, well, I told him this, but anyone who struggles with depression, the neuroscientists have shown that if you sit down and write out a gratitude list, it actually changes your brain.
Correct.
It helps you get out of depression, especially if you do it over long periods of time. So even if
you just do it for a week,
you get a little notebook and write down, even if you can just write down one thing, like my t-shirt with the Clash on it is coming today. You write that down. The next day you write down something
bad
else.
one. No, it'd be great.
No, it's not. Nothing is bad. No.
Yeah, but for someone who's in that dark pit, right? There might be that's the only thing they can think of. That's okay. Write down one thing a day and you do it over a period, and then it elevates your mood slowly each day. And then if you do it long enough, you'll get to that place where you're sort of like, it's not so hard.
Keri is 100% correct about this. This is a mindfulness strategy. I've written extensively about it. And it doesn't even take that long. I mean, literally a week, it can change your entire mood. And it's all about how you're focusing. I know Keri doesn't like the woo-woo stuff, but she is talking actually about mindfulness right now, which is like a precursor to woo. It's about Keri, you're woo-woo after all. Congratulations. But it's about focusing your energy and attention on the right things that are going to enhance your life, that are going to make you feel good, that are going to make you feel better, and taking your attention away from things that are going wrong. And so it's just an exercise in perspective. And I strongly recommend that if you do not have a gratitude practice, start a gratitude practice. Even if it's just like before you go to bed at night,
I'm grateful I have a nice bed to sleep in. I'm grateful I had a great dinner tonight. I'm grateful I got that stupid fucking Clash tank top that he wanted. Like, because I mean, that's important to him. That's not like he's making light of it, but that's actually, you know, something you can put on your list. I'm grateful I got to have a couple beers, hang out with Alex for 5 hours. Like, anything can go on these lists. So I definitely recommend that people give it a try.
Yeah, I'm definitely grateful to do the Sassy Saturdays. I love it. So I love it.
They're fun. They get a little much towards the end, but we always make it. I will say, I think Keri was fine in this. Like, this is so frustrating to me. Every single thing we have watched from Keri, and God willing, this will be the last thing, Keri has been fine. Like, I don't disagree with any of I disagreed with the nuances of some of her points, but like it wasn't even like a big disagreement. It was like a technicality. And so I don't think I don't really have any feedback for Keri in this other than, like, I'm not your abusive mother. Stop acting like a psychopath on Twitter. Like, I don't know why you can't go to therapy and get over whatever issue you have with me, because I've literally never done anything to you and you've tried your level best to destroy my career. And it's like, I just don't understand it. It is a completely different person who she is towards me than like anything else she does. So I understand fully why people see like what's going on Twitter and they're like, why is Carlin acting like a crazy person? Like, Keri's really nice. I totally understand why they have that perspective. But then I'm like, do you see how Keri acts towards me? Because it is unhinged fucking lunacy. And I just wish that Keri would focus on what she's doing. I think that I like that she's doing events. I like that she's getting profile places. I don't mind. I have no anger towards any of this stuff. I have always wanted Keri to be more proactive in telling her story. That was why I put her on my channel in the first place back in 2020. And if she just focused on that and kept the bullshit out of it, she would hear literally nothing from me. We could both be in this space and do our own separate things and not bother each other. So that would be my advice there. All right. I have one more video I want to watch. It's an oldie but a goodie. And then I'm going to go to bed. But I feel like we have to watch this one. Do you guys remember when my hair, I feel like, has really puffed out in the last couple hours. Now I look like a lion. That's not too bad. Do you guys remember when Joshua and I decided to offer Keri and her pastor a healing conversation? Was anyone around for this? Where one day on Nothing Remotely Controversial, Joshua was like, why don't we have a healing conversation where you and I and Keri's pastor can get together and we can heal this relationship and end the animosity between the two of you? And then I made a video of that and I put it out on the internet. And Keri did not want to have a healing conversation. She did not. And so this is me coming back and telling Joshua, well, I tried to have a healing conversation. And Joshua was like, but did you really, Carlin? Did you really try to have a healing conversation? Tuesday, everyone. Hello. Look at Joshua. Hello. This is back when Joshua had hair. I had less hair than I have now. Joshua had more hair than he has now. Joshua, so last week, I thought that we made a very generous and I might even call it saint-like. What the fuck was going on with my for skin? You and I to have a healing discussion with Keri Smith and her pastor. I don't even look. That's not a good tan, though. That was a very generous offer on our part, or mostly on your part. I was a little bit peer pressured into it, but I agreed. Like, and I thought it was a nice offer. I thought it was a nice gesture, and we just haven't heard back anything, and I'm a little disappointed. I definitely looked much better pale. I'm digging the pale thing. I just want to do like I don't need to be tan.
I'm not surprised, if only because I think that during that discussion you may have been a little bit heated, and I think
I'm never heated. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was laced with profanity, and I believe that you may have called Keri a word that I am not allowed to say. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, I think that after 2 years of dealing with nonsense, I might be entitled to a word here or there. But to my credit, I did do a follow-up video basically saying, I am completely serious about this offer. I promise I will not yell. I promise I will not insult. I promise I will not even swear out of respect for Christianity. And still, we have received no response. In fact, the only response that I have received is Keri tweeting, calling me a parasite and a monster and a vampire. Am I a parasite? Am I unaware?
I wouldn't call you a parasite.
No. I called Keri. I asked Keri to have a healing conversation with a pastor and with Joshua and I. And Keri responded by calling me a monster and a parasite.
No. I wouldn't call you a parasite. I wouldn't use that word to describe you, no. But, all you can do is focus on the energy that we're flowing, right? And if we can flow love to everyone, even our enemies, I think that that's the name of the game, especially because we are under a full strawberry moon in Sagittarius. It's all about Venus. It's all about love. It's all about forgiveness. I think
Joshua's
that might be the way to go. So if you do want to connect
focused on
with Keri and or her pastor, I think that we need to flow more love in their direction so they're not scared away, which I wouldn't blame them if they were.
Well, I mean, I guess I definitely I actually thought about this, and I have to admit I was a little bit taken aback on the show when you sprung this idea on me out of nowhere after I'd had a really horrible week. But I actually sat back and thought about this, and I was like, you know what? I'm not a Christian, but from a Christian perspective, if I were pretending to be a Christian, as I think that Keri and her pastor both are, I would want to engage in a public healing conversation because I really think that would, no, truly though, okay, yeah, I was a little snarky just then, but truly, no, if that's right, I forgot about this. Yeah, Kieran doxed Joshua. That happened. Kieran doxed Joshua over and over and over and over and over again because they tried to get Joshua to quit the show. And there was 1 week where Joshua did quit because he was upset about it. And then I got we had a conversation. He came back and he's never quit since. It was just a momentary thing. Sometimes it happens, right? But they were so pissed that when Joshua took that week off because he was pissed off at me, they were so pissed that Joshua came back and was an adult and was able to mend. I don't even remember what happened or why we were upset at each other, but they were so pissed off about Joshua that they started attacking him and doxing him because he didn't quit the show with me. What the fuck? What the fuck was that about? Joshua doesn't deserve that shit. Then that's all from Kieran, because that's all fucking Kieran knows how to do. He's out there professing to be a Christian, then wouldn't I want to act like Christ would act in any of these scenarios? And I just feel it's not even about, I was thinking about this the other night, and it's not even the about her and I, because I don't think we're ever going to be besties. Let's just be honest. But I do think it would actually do a lot of good in the world for communities of people who have kind of been at each other's throats for a long time to see two people trying to come together and resolve their differences and move on like adults. I think that would not only be beneficial for Keri and I think that would be actually beneficial for anyone who watched the conversation, as long as all parties were able to rein in the nonsense and actually act like adults. Am I wrong?
Well, I think that you have a point. I think especially because both you and Keri are very popular and very valued by your audiences, that if you could potentially patch things up and forgive each other, that could initiate other people forgiving. And when we forgive, we get so much more energy, we get so much more love in our hearts, and we're able to do so much. Forgiveness gives you so much more energy. So that would be, it would be an exercise in leadership. It would be something really, really nice if both of you could do that. That would be really cool.
Well, yeah. I would put my nonsense aside. Exactly. That actually happened in real life at AFPAC, where I had beef with some of the people at AFPAC. And I was like, you know what, bygones, bro, just chill, everyone just be cool. Everyone just be cool. It's nice when people can put disagreements behind them. It's nice when people can do that and say that, I wish more people on the internet could be adults like that. Because a lot of the things that happen on the internet are so stupid. And then they're taken to the most severe place. Again, this thing with big tech, it's like take what he did as kind of a one-off, take what he did and look at it in isolation from the internet, right? And it's what he did was he put out there an idea that I was a spy infiltrating the Groypers, right? And that in and of itself, I mean, you could say that was a funny joke. Okay, I mean, he says he meant it as a joke. Okay, fine. But you take that and then you combine it with the insanity of the internet. And it's like one of those things that, like, it may start as an innocent joke and then it gets extrapolated out and it goes through this game of telephone and it gets back to the people in the communities and then they start talking about it and then it gets amplified larger than it is. And it's like all of a sudden, this simple joke actually becomes a big effing problem. And so it's like one of those things where I would have loved to be able to look at his video and be like, he's obviously joking. Everyone's going to know he's obviously joking. But to be quite frank, I don't really have like the track record on the internet that tells me that people know when you're joking and people know when you're not joking. Like, I literally joke about sex all the time on the internet, like almost every single day. I say to mount the like button on my channel. Like, I joke about this all the time. And yet, when someone sees a DM from me in which I'm saying something like flirty or sex related, they automatically assume that I'm being like 100% serious and there's no possible way that this is a joke or this is sarcastic or this is just banter or this is something that is just being said off the cuff, not with any expectation that anyone's going to jump right into fucking bed. And it's just like, it's that stupid shit that happens on the internet. And it's just such a shame that this stuff has to happen because it's kind of like, I mean, maybe this is one of those things that I was like, you know what big tech did, like, in and of itself, if it's just taken by itself in isolation, it's not a big deal. But when you understand how the internet works and you understand that it's going to get extrapolated out, it's going to get back, it's going to go through this weird fucking game of telephone, then I'm going to have a fucking problem. And why the F, couldn't that just be acknowledged and just couldn't that, like, can't we be mindful of not fucking each other over? I mean, am I asking too much? And it's just like everything's like that. And I wish people could just, give the benefit of the doubt to people that aren't not just their best friends. Like, if you're friends with someone, you're going to know what's joke and what's not a joke. If I'm now Groyper adjacent or whatever. And like, I know when the Groypers are joking and I know when they're not joking, but other people don't know that. And it's kind of like, can you just give people the benefit of the doubt for once? Most people on the internet are just screwing around. For the purpose of doing this. I already made that decision. Do you feel like, as someone who has known me and worked with me for a very long time, do you feel like I would be able to act like an adult and have a non-yelly, non-sweary conversation?
I think that as we got, like, if it was a yes and they would, I think that you would psychologically prep yourself to behave. Yes. Like right now, you still seem a little, as you had said, a little snarky, but I think that if they were open to it, I think that you would psychologically prep yourself most likely for a healing conversation. That's my guess.
Well, can we just psychic this? Can we just see how it would go if this conversation were to happen? And I would obviously do the psychological prep I would need to do to not jump through the computer and strangle her. Well, if this conversation were to happen and everyone was on their best behavior, how would this conversation go? What would the outcome of this conversation be?
Are we talking about you and Keri?
Well, me and Keri and you and Keri's pastor, because I'm going to need intermediaries. I will. I need you to, I don't necessarily think that you would be able to rein me in from saying anything that I want to say, but out of respect for you, I think I'd be much more respectful with you involved in the conversation.
Yeah. Okay. So if the four of us got together, and decided to like hash things out in the name of love, in the name of healing, in the name of forgiveness, what would the outcome be? Is that what we're asking?
Yes.
If we were to get together, name
like
love. Sorry?
It's going to be like Ten of Swords, the tower.
No, not. What would it be like? What would the outcome be? And tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Let's see. It looks really, really good.
It could have been great.
So you get the Hierophant. This is about doing the right thing, and it's about leadership. And all four of us would be considered, I think, a Hierophant in some capacity, because we use our voice to teach values, right? And the Hierophant is about doing the right thing. And it's also about institutions of learning and values. At the end of the day, it's all about group and shared values. Next, we have Temperance, which is keeping the even flow of feelings no matter what it is that you're feeling, but it's also about tempering and smoothing things over. And it's a very, very positive card. It's all about expansion and growth. I mean, think of it. If there was forgiveness, right, there's so much more love that you both would experience in each other's lives. You know what I mean? So that's really positive. And then finally, you get Six of Wands, which is called Victory, the Victory card. So you both would be riding even higher, most likely, than you are now. And who knows, me and Pastor Bradley, Pastor Bradley, and I, who knows, it would be victorious for us too.
The good Christian Bradley.
I mean, it's close. If we got you guys to talk and forgive each other, that would be, I think, on par with turning water into wine.
Some might even say you were doing the Lord's work, really.
I love the idea of doing the Lord's work. I think we all need to play our part in doing the Lord's work as much as possible. Yes. It looks really good.
So now we have a nice prediction, Keri. I am making this offer.
I'm sure she cares about tarot cards.
Keri. No, I'm sure it's very blasphemous for us to even use cardboard pieces of paper with picture on them. I understand it's a non-Christian thing to do, even though you did go to Catholic school.
12 years. 12 years.
12 years of Catholic school right there. But Keri.
Thank God too. And I don't regret it for 1 second. Like, it taught me so much. And I love the nuns, most of them.
Well, that
never got
to ask a question that was like not appropriate for this particular thing, but we'll save that question for, you're like, oh no, don't go down that road. But I want to
Joshua was always very upset that he was never one of the chosen boys in the Boston Catholic, the Catholic Church during all that. He was never targeted. He was very upset about it.
Say this, Keri, the offer is still open. Bradley, if you are being a responsible pastor, the offer is still open. As I have said, I will behave myself. I will show up and come to the table and try my very best to put all this nonsense behind us. It's now up to you guys. So what would Jesus do? Come to the table, have a conversation. We're ready to go.
Jesus would be like, where's that cross?
If this ever happens, I'm gonna legitimately get a giant ass crucifix to hang behind me on the wall. just so if it bursts into flames at any point, I'll know to run in the opposite direction.
Man, see, I tried to do the right thing. I tried to do the right thing, okay? I tried to do the right thing. Keri didn't want to have a healing conversation. Bradley didn't want to have a healing conversation. They're such good Christians that they didn't want healing. They didn't want Christ's love. Anyway, that was a good walk down memory lane. And I have to say, I feel like tonight just hasn't just been about delivering the message to big tech that I want delivered so that he can think about it and let me know, or don't let me know, whichever. It doesn't really matter to me. But like, I mean, I have to say, I enjoyed this little walk down memory lane. And I kind of feel like we need to just, since Keri still talks about me on a relatively frequent basis. Listen, Keri is now comparing me to Ava Braun. Does everyone know why Keri is on the regular comparing me to Ava Braun? Here, I'll show you.
Carlin Borsenko is my girl. Carlin Borsenko is my girl.
One more time.
Carlin Borsenko is my girl.
That's why Keri is comparing me to Ava Braun on a regular basis. And so I feel like, as I'm hanging around the Groypers and I'm hanging around Nick and, just participating in that whole space a little bit more, I feel like this is a really good opportunity to like reignite the feud with Keri. Should we do that? We had so much fun playing the game. We can if we rile them all up perfectly. And now I feel like, quite frankly, I'm in a much better position to like handle it than I was before. So I feel like we can have more fun and more humor. But what we definitely need to do is I definitely want to go through Keri's tweets and write a song
about based on the best tweets that Keri had about me. Because I just think that would be funny. I think Keri would be thrilled. I mean, who wouldn't want a song written for them based on their greatest hit tweets of all time? So I definitely want to do that. And I actually really do like this merchandising idea too of creating the t-shirts with the art inspired by the best lines in Keri's tweets about me. And we're going to call it the Keri series. And I'm going to do a special Keri inspired, like Keri Carrie, the movie. I want to do a special Keri inspired movie poster, like interpretation of that. But instead of having blonde hair, I got to have brown hair for the different I've got all sorts of merchandising ideas. And it could be just kind of like cool, kind of like punk rock art that's not related to woke stuff necessarily. It's just related to like, you know, what did Keri say? The bottomless pit of dark, or like, you know, like all of Keri's really good lines where she's really trying to get a dig in. I feel like we should merchandise all that shit along with writing a song. And I feel like if we do those things and we do them effectively, then we will reignite the feud. And we're not going to let it interfere with the real stuff, because like we got the real stuff too. I'm just saying, like, do you guys remember how fun that was every time that we had like an amusement that like someone was feasing about something, and like all of a sudden they were mad and they were upset about something, and then we kind of got to come together and laugh at them? Like, that was fun, right? That bonded us together. The game bonded us together. Being attacked by their bullshit all the time bonded us together. I think we're all in a much better position to handle it now. And I think we can, like, I mean, this kind of overlaps with the war with James Lindsay too, because Keri and James Lindsay are like BFFs. Deb and James Lindsay are like BFFs. I mean, this is a win-win. How many people think I'm serious and how many people think I'm joking? 1 in the chat if you think I'm serious, 2 in the chat if you think I'm joking. I feel like the best kind of like ideas I have and concepts I have are when people don't know. They're like, is this serious or is this sarcastic? Is this serious or is this sarcastic? I don't know. It's kind of like also like I don't want them to know if I'm on an anarch, like on the right or the left. Like, I want them guessing, like, is she a communist or is she not a communist? Is she communist? Is she not communist? Okay, so what was 1? 1 was that I was being serious, right? 1 is that I'm being serious. 2 is that I'm joking. See, I've already forgotten what I said on the rules. Okay. 1 is that I'm being serious. 2 is that I'm joking. So pretty much everyone thinks I'm being serious. Maybe if you think I'm being serious, then maybe it's a really good idea. Maybe the fact that so many people think I'm being serious about reigniting the feud, maybe that's because you all think it's a really great idea and you all agree with it. Which maybe could turn a 2 into a 1. I'm just saying. If I was being sarcastic about the idea, but then I saw the response to people being like, no, this is a good idea. This is a serious idea. Like, we all need to consider this. We all need to get on board. Like, maybe like a 2 just became a 1. Maybe. I'm going to have to sleep on it. It is 2:30 in the morning, guys. I am going to bed. I promise you that I will be back at 5 p.m. Ain't nothing canceling the stream this time. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. Bye.